Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. Wow. It's already the first day of the week. And around here, that's kind of nice. Rainy has been gone all weekend with all day yesterday and then home last night, then gone all day today with the older boy. They're taking a scouting CPR, saving lives in the wilderness type of course together. And so they're out having fun doing that. My son said it was boring and slow, but they were there from like 9 to 6 yesterday, and it's going to be 9 to 6 again today. Yesterday was a little cool, a little rainy with the beginning of the day. Today, it's going to be sunny. It got sunny yesterday afternoon. I got out and got a little bit of sun yesterday, but today it's sunny already. It's going to be 70 degrees as our high and not a cloud in the sky. So, boom. So, I got the two girls. We might go over to the park. We got an invite from some friends that are going over there. So, we might do that. What's your plans like for this Sunday? What are you doing today? What's going on? How is weather in your neck of the woods? So, over here, it's nice. And it's nice to have a little sunshine now. And of course, we didn't have a lot of snow all winter. We haven't had a lot of rain this year, but we've had enough that they say we're not in danger of any drought so far that they can see. So we had enough rain through the winter and enough. You know what? It could be this way every year, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I do like, and I'll admit, I like a good thunderstorm. I love a good thunderstorm, a good thunder boomer. You know, not one where you're worried about whether or not your car's going to get blown away, but a good thunderstorm. And since we discovered the crack in our foundation last year, we've done everything we can to work with that. I've got to grind out the concrete on my floor in the basement and drop in a sump pump. And so hopefully that will take care of everything that's going on that could leak in through the crack in that wall. And it's not like the wall's crumbling or anything. It's a crack and it seeps in through there. So I got to see what I can do. And we had to dig out last year. We had in all our window wells on that side of the house, we had water would come up. If this frame was the window well, we'd have water come up this tall, this high on the glass. And there was nowhere for it to drain. And so we had to bring in a whole crew, and they dug out from every window well and put in, the flex pipe. And all the way down, there's a slight grade down to the property line. And so we just brought it down there. The neighbor was like, well, it's not going to flood my backyard, is it? I said, nah, it's just going to go into the property line. So they're the ones who put up the big privacy fence anyway. So there you go. 75 now, says Josh Kemp. Supposed to be the mid-80s today. I like that kind of weather. And the older I get, I used to like it cool. Now that I'm getting old, I get cold faster. So I like the warm weather these days. Let's see. Josh says, I need to get up with Rainy and see if she can do or has time to do a few tumblers. She does, Josh. She's not here today to run that by her, but I will run it by her. We're doing a few for the Federation right now. Russ Heslage's company. He's the one who owns the radio station. But now here's the big announcement. If you missed it earlier in the week, last week, Odyssey Radio is no more. At least it's been put on the back shelf. Russ still owns it, but it's become, along with the new store and his Federation and all of his commitments, the radio station has just become a little too much. And so he doesn't have time to do sales. He doesn't have time to do production. He's just running it, making sure everything goes. And he said, something had to go. And so I've been there. And so he is shutting down as of effectively last Friday. Our last show was the last show on Odyssey Radio. So now, those of you who like to tune in to the radio show to hear just the audio, that's not going to happen anymore. Now you just come over to the YouTube channel, like most of you who are in the chat room today do. The show's just going to run on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scotty Roberts, if you're not there already. or you can watch it over on Patreon, Patreon/Scotty Roberts. You can actually watch it on Twitter, or X it is now. You can go to my X, Mr. Scotty R. It's funny with the transition. I had what was my Twitter? I think it was just Scotty Roberts, because that's what it was years ago. And then the transition to X came over. Something got haywired in the transition, and my whole thing disappeared. And then at some point, I must have renamed it Mr. Scotty R, because I finally found it under Mr. Mister Scotty R. And boom, and there it was. So that's up there. And you can, I think you can do live streaming on Instagram now, but I haven't tried that yet. We can see if we can play this show over on Instagram. But all that to say, Odyssey Radio is now officially no longer. And so don't look for us over there, but we might see Russ from time to time. And we're still broadcasting through StreamYard through Odyssey for the time being. So we'll see what goes on. So there it is. There's the big announcement there for Odyssey Radio. So, hey, Ryan Gale, good to see you. Morgan Snow, good to see you. Josh Kemp, glad you're here. Carlene Smith, we're 68 and cloudy, she says, but we're going to run the smoker. Going to run the smoker. Is that like a marathon you're doing, the smoker, or your smoker on the back deck? You're gonna smoke some meat. That sounds good. That sounds inviting. Everybody, Carlene's place for smoked meat. Randall Flagg, good to see you. The Bruins continue their dominance over the Maple Leafs. You know, I got to tell you, for growing up in Minnesota, I've never been a hockey fan. It was never a thing of mine. I've attended a couple of games somewhere along the way. When I was in high school, we had the North Stars up here. Then they packed up and moved down to Texas and became the Stars, I think. And let's see. Oh, when I was in Detroit, there was the Red Wings, and I went to one Red Wings game because somebody invited me and had tickets. Hockey is not my game. Never cared for it. So all you talking hockey, have a good conversation. It's not my thing. Rangers all the way, and I'm in Alabama, says Josh Kemp. So smoke the runner, says Randall Flagg. Cooking baby back ribs, says Carlene, in the smoker today. Nice. That sounds real nice. We got an invite from a friend of ours. She's been on the show. Heather Marie, you've seen her. Blonde. I always go like this to indicate height. So she and her boys are going out to the park. She invited a bunch of parents to come and join them. Since Rainey's gone, I might grab my two girls. Rainey and Flynn are gone for the day, and head over there at around noon today, since it's such a gorgeous day outside. Hey, Joseph, good to see you. We had a Halloween-filled weekend here in Michigan. Jay Towers and Screamers costumes had James, Jude, Courtney, and Nick Castle in town. Very cool. Very cool. I don't know all of those names. I got to admit, Nick Castle rings a bell, but I don't know the other guys. Jay Towers and James, Jude, Courtney. I don't know. They showed Halloween 78 and okay, associated with the movie at Imagine in Novi with Q&A. So cool. Joseph, I used to live in Novi. So I was on, was it 9 Mile Road in Novi? It was, now again, it's been almost 30 years since I lived there. So we lived up there. I was the creative director at Guardian Photo, which was owned by the same guy who owned the Palace at Auburn Hills, Bill something. And so we were the nation's largest independent photo finisher, detached from Kodak, which was Fuqua was the company. So there you go. Oh, Joseph said he's the original Mike Myers, Nick Castle. Okay. Uh, who's the other guy? You see him at all the events, the horror events. He played, I thought, Michael as well. Boy, can't think of his name. You see him all the time. I met him a few times. He did. They did a paranormal ghost hunting show on TV once with all these old slasher movie types. Not Tyler Maine. Hodge, is there a Hodgson or a something like that? Hodgson, something like that. Can't think of his name. So I'll cook mine at 225 for 6 hours, says Josh Kemp. Baby back ribs. Cheers to baby back ribs. My coffee's getting cold. You know what I did? I brought the coffee maker down here. It's now in the office. So I'm just going to walk over there. You're going to see screen without me, but you might be able to hear me if I yap loud enough. I'm going to get some coffee over there. Warm up my coffee. You know, there's one thing about these coffee makers. They, if you can still hear me, they have these short cords on them. You ever notice that? Coffee makers, all kinds of kitchen appliances that they make, and you think they're so great, you know, but the cords are this long. And so I'm over here and I've got a little cabinet that's about not quite 4 feet tall. And I went to set the coffee maker on it. The cord doesn't reach the plug, which is right next to the cabinet. So my only option was either set it on the floor. I had to pull one of the folding chairs over and set it on the folding chair. What's with all these appliances? You go and find an appliance somewhere. Go to Target, go to Walmart, go wherever you go to get your cheap appliances, and the cords are this long. It's like, I guess they're made to be on countertops in the kitchen, and you slide them over next to wherever the cord is. And yeah, they do that on purpose, says Field Guy. I hate that. So you got to either get an extension cord or a power strip with an extension cord on it, so you can plug everything on your counter in your kitchen into it. So we've got, sitting on the countertop here, we've got a and what do you have on your countertop? But for preparing meals, we got the microwave, we got the coffee maker, then we've got the air fryer thing that everybody, when they want fast food, they'll go in the freezer, pull out chicken nuggets and pour them in that thing, and it fries them up. Then we have the they don't call them pressure cookers anymore. It's basically a pressure cooker. The newfangled ones that are all digital and stuff. And we got one of those. Then we got, if I got to grind my coffee in the morning, we've got that. And then I got to unplug something to plug that in. Make sure you don't unplug the coffee maker or the microwave, because then the time will go all wonky on you. You got to reset the time. And over on the other counter, we've got the toaster. We've got there's a big, we have one of those big mixers, you know, for baking. It's got the big arm that comes up, you know, you put the arm down, and the beaters, we used to call them. We got one of those. That's plugged in all the time, but that's in the corner on that side by the sink, so there's nothing around it, so nothing gets plugged in over there. But we've got 3 or 4 sockets around the kitchen, and sometimes you got to unplug something to make it, but the cords are all this long. So, well, the new place has a microwave built into the wall, so my microwave is in the junk room for now. There you go. Instapot, that's it, Susie Q. The Instapot, that thing is cool. I like that. I wish we'd had that earlier in my life. There you go. I like an Instapot. Like if I'm going to make stir fry, I will get out the old wok pan, and I got a big, you know, the new pan, so you don't feel like you're in the 1970s cooking with a red wok. But I would, if I could, because I liked cooking in those, but I like doing stir fry and the rice for it. I used to do minute rice. It's minute rice, takes 5 minutes. So now we just put it in the pot. We use a lot of jasmine rice, and we throw it in the Instapot. Takes it still takes 15 minutes about ish, and you got rice, and it's great, and it's the sticky rice. It's kind of nice, you make it that way. So I love it. I have one. Kids gave it to me, but I've never used it. Says Susie Q. Susie Q. They're great. We do roasts in those sometimes. Now, there's nothing like a roast in the oven, and you get the potatoes and the onions and the carrots and all of that stuff. Well, Rainy makes them in the Instapot, and it's fantastic. The meat's tender, juicy, and potatoes and everything, blah, blah, blah. Josh Kemp loves jasmine rice. Yes, there is a jasmine rice cohort in the chat room. I do roast to my own in my oven. Yeah, we do roast in the oven. We have. So, hey, Steph Cuervo Queen, good morning. How are you doing? How you doing? So, anybody I haven't said hi to, it's only because I missed you. I didn't see you in the scroll here. So, welcome to everybody who's here. All those of you who are here and just not in the chat room, come on into the chat room. It's okay. Be fun to have you. And if you're over on Facebook or Twitter, X, or any of these other locations where the show is playing, the best way to get it, you can chat with us there. Patreon, you can chat with us. That's why Patreon didn't work when I moved the show over there. There's no real chat room. There's a comment section below, and you'd have to keep refreshing the broadcast in order to see the new comments. So you can, so everything, if you want to comment on this show, come on over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scotty Roberts, where most of you already are. And you can chat in there because it's the best way. If you chat with me from Facebook, I will see it, and you may see mine, but you won't see anybody else's, and they won't see you. Kevin Miller, welcome. I have 3 minutes to listen. Good to hear you this morning. Good to see you, Kevin. Your brother called me yesterday, and it was too late, and I couldn't call him back. I got to call him back. Working on a book cover for your brother. So remind me of that, would you? Or if you talk to him before the show is out, let him know. Scotty saw your call. I didn't hear his message yet, though. I just saw that he called. So, Kevin, what are you up to today? You've only got 3 minutes. Oh, you heading off to church this morning? Very possibly. Depends on where you're living. Are you still in the Minneapolis area? Or did you go out to Virginia as well? Joseph says, we use the air fryer almost every day. I want the actual stove oven with air fryer built in. Those look amazing. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? I'd like to get one of those. Going to church. Well, have a good time, Kevin. If you're in Minneapolis, do you still go to I don't think you went to Valley. Did you go to Fourth Baptist? Or did you go to Valley? I know I knew you from the school. Oh, you live in Buffalo, Minnesota. Okay. Which is not all that far from the Twin Cities. It's to the west. So, Scotty, we're on. Hang on. Scotty, were you on Morning Coffee the other day when I said my uncle was bad? I don't recall. I don't think so. My uncle's good. Do you mean bad health-wise, or he's a bad person, a bad egg, a bad seed, or something going on with your uncle health-wise? Kevin says, went to Fourth for a few months. Now I attend an E-Free church. Yeah, that's basically where a lot of us went from Fourth Baptist. So EV free, E-Free, evangelical free. Fourth Baptist is the big fortress church in Minneapolis, where I first got saved, born again, 11 years old, attended that church until I graduated high school. went on to the college that was founded in part by the pastor of Fourth Baptist Church and Pillsbury College, and then I went to seminary. But I was dating a woman, Kevin. If you've got a minute and you're still there to hear this, I dated a woman that I married, Suzanne Shepard. Her parents were part of the big split off from Fourth Baptist Church, and they founded Valley Baptist Church. So I ended going there. I worked with the youth there while when I came out of school. I went to seminary at Valley Baptist Theological, and everybody was like, "Well, you just went over to Valley because of Suzanne for a girl." I don't know. I went there. Well, yeah, maybe first I started and I saw a lot of people I knew, and I ended up enjoying being there, and I ended up working with the youth there. Oh, you lost your brother. I'm sorry to hear that, Carlene. Sorry to hear that you lost your brother. No, I did not hear that he was in a bad way. So I apologize for wasn't making fun of it. Having fun is more like it. Sorry you lost your brother. Man, death is all around us, isn't it? Especially Carlene, when you get to be our age. You're a little younger than I am, but when you get to be our age, boom. Carly Sagan, good morning. Sending you and everyone positive and healing vibes. Much love and light, favor and blessing. Tell Roger to get in here and say hi. Roger Rabbit, folks, if you don't know, is connected to this lovely creature, Carly Sagan. Good to see you, Carly. And let's see. I can't invent the bra pit. Take the bra off, bum. Burn it. What? What's the bra pit? Where'd that come from, field guy? What are you talking about? Somebody must have said something I missed. Oh, there it is. Steph Cuervo Queen. Holy hell. Autocorrect changed it from bean pot to bra pit. I almost sent it so you could see it. Wow, why would it pull bra pit? There has to be some reference that it's pulling that from for it to change that. Bra pit from bean pot? Wow. So anyway, Kevin Miller, I'm glad you're not at fourth, at least the fourth I knew. Nothing wrong. More power to those people. God bless them, all that stuff at fourth. But Fourth Baptist was, folks, you remember the show we did on legalism, religious legalism? That's where I learned how to be legalistic, was at Fourth Baptist Church in the 70s and the early 80s. And then I moved over to Valley Baptist Church, a little less legalistic. Then I went from there into an evangelical free church. So gives you an idea. So, and it's not that, I'll just find a theology that matches the way I feel, and it's like we make theology the movable thing. It's not that. Same God, same theology, just less political infrastructure, church politics became very legalistic. And it's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't believe in it. And you are taking the faith and making it into something that's rigid and iron bar. We used to call Fourth Baptist Church, Pillsbury College, we used to call it iron bars Christianity. And so they may have changed over the years. I mean, it's been 40 years since I've been at Fourth Baptist Church. But anybody know, Kevin? Kevin's probably gone. But I've got to find out, the old Fourth Baptist Church building in Minneapolis had this gorgeous old, they called it the chapel now. It used to be the original sanctuary when the church had been built. I believe it was built had to be the early 1900s, the late 1800s. And it was all wood. This beautiful, highly polished wood everywhere. The front altar was all carved wood, and the big carved pulpit up there, pulpit. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous building. But then they built the new facility, which was all concrete slabs, the early 1970s to mid 1970s, modern construction, and they built the new school. and attached it to that and everything. So the old part of the building was cool. It was quaint and antiquity. Um, and they always use that for like midweek services and things like that, and special deals, weddings would take place in there. So I'm curious to know if that still exists, or if when they changed that all over, if that all got torn down. I can't imagine something as gloriously historic and beautiful as that building would just be torn down and eradicated. Um, so I'm going to see if it's even in here anymore. There's the Fourth Baptist Church. The Fourth Baptist Church now is in Plymouth, Minnesota. They moved the church and they sold that building. I'm just curious, that old church, what that sanctuary looks like, if they even have it anymore. So I'm looking at pictures. I see pictures of the old building structure, which was very cool. And I'm looking to see if anybody ever posted pictures. If you're out there and you're hearing this morning, folks, any of you attended Fourth Baptist Church in Minneapolis, show me the old sanctuary if you've got a picture of it. I'd love to see that. If somebody's got one, it's not online that I can see unless it's under different criteria. So, was this a historic church for sale? I wonder if this is it. No, because it doesn't have the new. Wouldn't you like to live in an old historic church? This is really cool. This isn't the church I'm talking about that I went to, but Rainey and I have thought, man, wouldn't it be cool? We want to build a shipping container home. Obviously, we've talked about that for a couple of years now, and we're working up to that. But if I could find an old church building, now of course the paranormal ramifications are enormous with something like this, but like this is for sale right now. Where is this for sale? I'll find out real quick. This is I was looking for pictures of my old church, the sanctuary, because it's antique, it's antiquity, it's gorgeous old building. But here, I'm going to save this so we can take a look at it while I'm talking about it. But Rainey and I have talked about, man, if we could find an old church building, wouldn't that be cool to find an old church building to convert into a house? I would do that. Wouldn't you do that? I got to see where this one is. This is in it's for sale for $4.25 million. It's the Black congregation just a few blocks north of Emmanuel Church has put its historic 1859 church on the market for $4.25 million. Trying to see where this is. The decision by New Tabernacle Fourth Baptist Church, different Fourth Baptist Church, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know where that is. I'm not seeing anywhere that says where it is. But could you imagine? Look at this building here. I'm gonna put this slide up. And could you imagine getting a building like this and converting it into a house or a home? I think that would be fantastic. Look at this place. Now, I don't know where this is. The article kind of cuts off unless I sign up for their the news. Where look at that church. Look at that building. Could you imagine having a building like that and you convert it into your home? Of course, I wouldn't pay $4.25 million to have that for a home. Oh, it got torn down, says Kevin Miller. But somehow I know someone I know on Facebook took pictures before it happened. I'll send you a link after church if I find it. Cool. Thank you, Kevin. That's too bad that got torn down. That was a beautiful old structure. So, and they attached the new structure to it. So, Yeah, historic church for sale. It doesn't say where this is. For sale, asking price. Oh, it's Charlotte. Oh, at Charlotte and Elizabeth Streets. I don't know where that is. I don't know what town that's in. The news is the Post and Courier from uh uh it doesn't say where it is. The Post and Courier from uh does that say Iowa? I got to put on my glasses. Founded 1803, the Post and Courier. Well, where the heck is the Post and Courier? Now I got to know. Do they have an about? Do they have a manager account? Charleston area news. So maybe it's Charleston, South Carolina. Maybe that's where this church is. Anyway, I just saw that and I thought that's cool because, Rainey and I have talked about, hey, maybe we should get an old church building and convert that into a house. Wouldn't that be cool if your living room was the old sanctuary and the balcony seating, that's your loft? But imagine that you have Thanksgiving at your house and you go and you've got the long table that seats 25 down the middle of what used to be the sanctuary. All the pews are gone. And wouldn't that be kind of cool? I think it'd be kind of cool. Have it put a big fireplace in the end of it where the baptismal used to be. That'll now be your big fireplace, big stone fireplace with huge wooden mantles on it. And you could almost have a medieval hall made out of that. Put flags up by the windows and have your big table down the middle, your big screen TV. Very medieval. Too many spirits, good and bad, says Carlene. Maybe in a church, yeah. I would say a church is probably haunted like a hotel is haunted. That's my guess. So Ed says Saddamsville. That's Saddam Hussein. That's how George Bush said it. We're going to go get Saddam. Has an old church next to an incredibly haunted rectory. And the church seemed fine. It needs restoration. Interesting. See, I've seen some cool old churches. It doesn't have to be as big as that brick one I just showed you, but I've had friends that have converted. Well, they're not like friends; they're acquaintances, people I used to know a long time ago, that converted old churches into. They converted an old church into a home. It seemed very cool. So, Saddamsville in Ohio. We're not talking about the Middle East. Saddamsville, Saddam, the hometown of Saddam Hussein. Saddamsville. We're talking Ohio, different Saddam. So, let's see. I wouldn't want to heat or cool that beast. Yeah, really, Steph. That's one of the things you think of when you see something like this and you go, hey, honey, we're going to buy this church and we're going to convert it into a house. First thing I think of when I see that is, I wonder what the heating oil bill is on that place. So, but I'll bet you it's got cool floor, the tall urinals in the bathroom. So my boy can just go in there and, don't worry about the floor. Just straddle that urinal that goes all the way up against the wall and all the way to the floor. So I hate cleaning my son's bathroom. And it's only his bathroom because he has the official master bedroom of this house. Rainey and I made our master bedroom downstairs here. So we got a big room down here. There's no bathroom down here. We got to go upstairs. You get up in the middle of the night, you got to hike all the way up to go pee. But we're a little extra deeper foundation on this house. So the ceilings are taller down here than an average basement. So there's more steps to go up at night. There's 14 or 15 steps to go up. And I think the average is 12. So we got that extra foot and a half on our ceilings down here. Anyway, that's why Flynn has a bathroom. He has the master bedroom, which is slightly bigger than the other 2 bedrooms upstairs for the girls. And he's got the bathroom in his. And then we got the main bathroom down the hall. So blah, 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 blah. Theater seating for sure. Yeah. You get your big screen TV going in your church sanctuary living room, and you put in a little theater seating. That'd be cool. Coffee. Let's see. Who is going to clean those windows? Yes, Steph. And if you got stained, does this have stained glass windows? Let's see. Yeah, look at that. Isn't it sad that nowadays they have to build protective coverings over stained glass windows in churches? Seems to last 30 years because vandals come and break them out. Old 100-year-old stained glass windows. You got to place protection over them, which really mars the original beauty and look of the church, since there's no respect for a church anymore. So even back in the day when you had bad guys, you still had bad guys, still had vandals, but people usually respected the sanctuaries of churches. Now they don't anymore. Nothing to it. So let's see. Again, Carlene, I see your post. You're sorry about your uncle. That sucks when we get to be old enough and everybody around us starts to pass away. That's we see that more and more all the time. I've got a picture up on my Facebook, and friends, just friends. We live long enough. You start living long enough, and I'm not elderly by any means, but I'm old. And you get to this point, and your friends start dying around you, and we've all experienced death along the way. And we've talked about this on the show before, this kind of stuff. But I put up a picture the other day of a group of us out at the festival, sitting at cast call in the morning, where we had cast call at 8:00 every morning, and you had to be you were in costume. Most people were in costume. It was kind of half and half. And it all depended on what you had going at 9 a.m. when the cannon went off and the gates opened up. I had to be there, so I was always in costume. And the Royal Guard, we were in costume. We're the ones that blew the cannon off, boom, to open up the gates in the morning. And so there's a picture of me in my Reds, and I'm standing next to a guy in a plaid shirt, about my age, I think, at the time when that picture's got to be 20 years old, if not a little older, 23 years old, 24 years old. And but he's, I put in there the late Chris Wells, a friend of ours that very suddenly, just a few years ago, died. Boom. Hey, Heather White. Heather, how you doing from Scotland? Good to see you this morning. Glad you checked in. You can change the whole topic of my show. So, and not that there was a going concern topic this morning. We're just yapping because it's Sunday morning, waiting for anybody who wants to call in. And all good over here. And now, refresh my memory. You're not in Glasgow proper. You're in the outskirts, or you're around or near Glasgow, right? You're a Glasgowian. Or are you in Glasgow? I can't remember. So, but you're in the Heelands, right? So here's Carlene. How you doing, Carlene?
Not too bad. I just wanted to pop on. No, Scotty, you didn't need to apologize. You didn't know, and I didn't take any offense to your comment before I said he had passed away.
Yeah. Oh, and Ron Frisbee. Haven't seen you for a while, Ron. Brother artist, amazing artist. He says, I know what you mean, Scotty. I just lost my mom. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that wasn't so recent that that's still really fresh. But good to see you, Ron. I'm sorry about your mom. Heather is in East Kilbride. It's classed as Glasgow, but not in the city center. Just outside of the south side. It's outside, folks.
So that's cute.
The phonetic. I love Heather's voice too. Which she's come on a couple of times on the show. I've known Heather since I was with Taps Paramag, which is 19 or to 19 2009 to 2010, in that range of time. And Heather, may be in your neck of the woods. We're supposed to. My daughters want to take me to Scotland. They've been trying to get this trip planned, and it keeps getting postponed because they're so busy and they do so much traveling, so much stuff with their mermaid tail company, that they said, okay, we got a date, Dad. How is June 4th through the 13th? And I said,
Wow.
that works for me. Just let me know. And now I haven't heard anything since I said that. My daughter said to me just yesterday, she said, boy, if we get this trip, it's going to be like last minute, Dad. It's going to be like, hey, can you go tomorrow? So that's the way their stuff goes. So we'll see if it's still the first week in June or not.
I was gonna say,
So
uh,
we will have to stop and meet you for some pints or something. So we'll get over to your neck of the woods. We got other friends up there somewhere. Chris Conway, who was a medium, psychic medium on Britain's Most Haunted. He was the little Scottish medium for a couple, 3 years on the show. Many years ago now. So he lives up in your neck of the woods, I think. So she says, "Ooh, nice. Yes, for sure." So yeah, we'll make that happen whenever we get over there. I don't know if it's going to be at the beginning of the summer now, or if it's going to be at the beginning of the autumn. We'll find out. And that's just kind of nice. It's kind of nice when your kids call you up and go, "Dad, we want to take you to Scotland." And now Rainey was a little put off at first. She said, well, why didn't they invite me? And they talked to her, I think, and they said, hey, we just want to do a trip with dad and daughters. Is that okay? Rainey said, fine, that's cool. So Rainey's planning a trip to Iceland with her sister. So there you go. I don't like separate vacations, but we don't do a lot of vacationing either. We haven't been able to because all the kids. We're going to go, I hope, knock on wood, all the conflicts in scheduling with scouts and all of that this summer, camps, things like that. We're trying to carve out a week to do our trip out west of here to the Custer battlefield. And now, those of you who know the lay of the land here, we're in Minnesota, smack central United States, right at the northern state, right in the middle, coast to coast. And the Custer battlefield, you go west, it's out here in Wyoming. But and now to see my daughters in North Carolina, it's down here in North Carolina near the coast. Now it's interesting. We didn't realize this till we looked up the miles. I'm thinking Custer Battlefield. It's going to take half a day driving. It's just to the west of us. You just go through the Dakotas, and it's over there in Wyoming. Well, and Minnesota's right up next to the Dakotas. And I did, and it's the same exact distance from Minnesota to the Custer Battlefield and Minnesota to North Carolina. Same
oh,
distance,
wow.
950 miles.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So,
North Carolina got to be because that's just below us.
that's right. So, Randall Flagg says, my grandfather died in 1945. He was from Glasgow, Lanarkshire. Lanarkshire. Isn't that where William Wallace was said to have been born? Lanark. So Lanarkshire, Lanarkshire, however you say that, with the appropriate emphasis on the syllables. So I believe that's where that's either the region, and Lanark was the town, or Lanarkshire is the whole place now, where William Wallace was born and where he launched his campaign against the English from Lanark. So that's interesting.
I have to say though, it's good to hear your daughter's businesses are doing so good with everybody's doing so poorly now, or a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
My
that's
daughters
real.
are doing fine. They just said the amount of tax they have to pay this year, though, is ungodly.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I can imagine.
I mean, get this. I don't know the figure, but my daughters are paying over $200,000 in taxes on their business this year. So
Yeah,
it's unreal, the amount of tax. Well, they're the corporate rich, They're the they're the ones that all the leftists want to decry because, well, they're rich and wealthy, and they're not wealthy. And it's like my daughter was saying, she said, we're pretty standard average people. Average, we look average upper middle class. They've
Mm-hmm.
got a nice house. My other daughter, she and her husband both drive Teslas and they have a nice house. They both have successful businesses. He's got the successful tattoo studios. He owns 3 of them now.
Oh,
Um, and very high end stuff. We're not talking your crap off the alley. Hey, can you do Mickey Mouse on my butt cheek, please? Because I'm drunk type of tattooing. Though
yeah.
I'm sure they get some of that. Chris, their main guy. If you look up Seventh Sin Tattoo, Seventh Sin Tattoo, you can
I
look them up. You can see the kind of stuff they do. Fantastic. But Chris Toller is the partner with my son-in-law, Zach, and Chris is this amazing tattoo artist. He's one of those tattoo artists that it looks like watercolor paintings, when he's all done. And he does portraits of people and a lot of them of, like pop culture movies and stuff like that. But they're photorealistic, tattooed on your arm.
That's awesome.
So,
Okay, well, I just wanted to pop on and say, because you said,
oh,
well, I'm
thank you,
sorry to miss.
Carlene.
Like I said, no need. Like I said, I have lost track of who actually was on that day because
Yeah.
everything happened so fast,
My
and
mornings have been so weird. Getting on with Kenny in the morning has just been so difficult. And
yeah,
I can sometimes catch him toward the end
yeah,
because there's so much running around. And now that Rainey works at the little dollar store up
yeah,
here in town, it's literally 2-minute drive from here. And so she's up there, but she only does 3 days a week. But it's like everything always gets scheduled. We got to take a kid. You got 3 kids.
yeah.
It's like they take turns who needs to go see the doctor or get a dental appointment or
No,
can't
I
do them
know.
all the same day. So you do
No,
it all running at once. All of a sudden, because I work at home and Rainey's gone, I'm the one doing all that running, which is fine because we're both working, but I'm the one that's here. So I do it. And it's like every day I'm running
yeah,
between
great.
8:30 in the morning. I drop kids off to school at 8. Then after that, I'm running somebody to some appointment somewhere. It's a constant.
Oh,
And or I've got an appointment somewhere, things
yeah.
like that. So,
My husband seems like, oh my gosh, I got this appointment this day, I got this appointment that. It's like, oh my gosh, can't we all like do it in one day?
I know. It's like, can we bunch them all together so we're not every day running somewhere? So, but that's the way. That's life.
It's
Life
like
with 3 kids.
it's good. I can say home is good, but it was easier with him. He complained of a sore throat since December. They treated it with antibiotics, didn't bother doing any further research, didn't work, and it was quick. So it's
Yeah.
a lot easier to deal with.
That's good. And it's all these things that we do to try to stay healthy nowadays as we get a little older. And, and like I say, I'm by no means elderly. Some days I feel like I am.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. It's like standing up. It's like, oh, I made it. I made it to my feet. And it's like, oh, let me try to sit down again. Oh,
Oh,
woo. But all of that, you know what that is? It's not just getting older, it's lack of exercise.
yeah.
So I just have to bump up my exercise.
Well,
And walking upstairs to get a drink and walking back down or going up because you got to pee in the middle of the night and the bathroom is upstairs.
oh,
Is that my only exercise? you know, Thank God there's a handrail.
he's
So,
been bad for a while. He we figured smoking would get him, and it
oh,
actually
sure.
smoked like three
You
packs,
know,
and
I I gave up the smokes, as you know, but
yes,
it's been since August.
I was gonna
So
say,
August to September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. I'm in month 9 of not smoking. But uh, this still sits on my desk. And this is a pack from last August. And so that shows you how much I've smoked. over the last year, where I say I've quit smoking in the last 9 months, I've had a sum total of 3 cigarettes in that time. When I used to smoke one of these a day.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I figured I gotta stop. I had what was it? When they were doing scans for my heart, they had to do another of those MRIs, and they mentioned this was the last time, folks, when I was in the hospital. It's when you go and you have a little chest pain. If you've had all the surgeries on your heart that I've had, I'm like, every time I look at Rainey, I go, I got a little chest pain. I don't think it's anything. She goes, I want you to go in and get it checked. I go, they're going to keep me overnight.
Yeah, oh,
Sure
yeah.
enough, I go in, they keep me overnight. They run me up in an ambulance to the city hospital.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so there I am. That's the one where they didn't have room for me up there. And they had me all hooked up in a sitting up bed, sitting in the hall. I was sitting in the hallway. I felt like one of those TV shows where you go to the emergency room in New York City or something, and so there I am. I'm in the hallway, and they finally find me a room, and it's shared with somebody else. First time ever. Excuse me, I have to share a room with someone else. It's going to be another person in my room. And but they did all those scans, and they found a little tiny dot on my lung.
Mm.
And they said, the nurse is just looking at the scans, and she goes, are you a smoker? Or have you been a former smoker? I go, yeah. She goes, oh. She goes, you got a little dot on your lung. She says, probably nothing to worry about. She said, it's under 5 millimeters, which is not even a pinpoint.
And
And she said, it's just a little, and she showed me, and I go, do I need to be concerned about that? And she said, well, it's not, there's different kinds. She says it's smooth or something. She said, if it was rough, I'd say you'd have something to worry about. She said, it's all smooth. It's like a pearl growing in an oyster, only it's minuscule. And she said, it could be from having pneumonia, things like that, blah, blah, blah. So that was a year ago. They saw that. And that also led to me wanting to say,
quit.
okay, then maybe I'll just stop smoking. Let's not exacerbate it if it's something. So had no issues with it. I had a cougher's hack, as you all know from this show. I don't have that anymore. That's totally disappeared, which is good. Could be a granuloma. I have no idea what that is. Thank you, Jason. A granuloma. Let's see what that says. A granuloma is an area of tightly clustered immune cells or inflammation in your body. They form around an infection or foreign object in your body. They can form almost anywhere, but they're most often found in your lungs. Granulomas can be a symptom of chronic condition or an infection. There you go.
Yep.
So
And they
that's
don't.
what that is.
They had to biopsy hers because it got over 6. They don't generally do it until they get 6 millimeters. And hers got over 6, and they biopsied. And it was just something from having pneumonia so many times. But tell you, you don't want, that's one biopsy you don't want. That, she said, when my sister can handle pain, and that was painful.
Nice. Hey, Heather, I have to ask you if you're still there. Over here, we hear all the history of the area you're in. Did you grow up enjoying the history around there, or is it just part of, oh, that happened? Yeah, that happened here. That's that park over there, or under that development over there. Are you leaving? Oh, bye, Carlene. Bye, Carlene. So, Heather, are you? Is it like under that apartment building over there? Is where William Wallace killed the sheriff or something like that? Is it just part of where you are now? Ron Frisbee says that's awesome. I quit smoking almost 30 years ago, and it wasn't easy. You know, Ron, I quit for a while after the heart surgery, after they cut me open and all that over 7 years ago. And I quit for about 6, 7 months, and then I picked it up again, and then of course you know the story. If anybody listens to this show with regularity, I was arrested and put in jail last August, the end of August, for some dumb, stupid thing, which wasn't even a crime, which wasn't even anything I knew anything about. It's because I missed a court date that I didn't know I had for a charge I didn't know was leveled against me. So you all know that story. Hey, Heather, I see you're still here. I spent a night in jail. I got strip search. Bend over, put your hands on your knees or spread your butt cheeks. I'm like, seriously? You gotta look me over you gotta strip search me and dress me in orange because I missed a court date I didn't know about? And so you all know the story. I could complain for an hour about that. I still haven't done it. I'm going to write an article for the local newspaper on that, the Western Wisconsin region newspapers, and see if they'll take it. But on the system, the way the system works. But so I contracted something when I was in jail. And I got home and I had a smoke and my throat felt sore. I couldn't smoke when I had a sore throat, and so I kind of gave it up and for a day, and then I got worse, and I was sick for about 3 weeks. You all may remember that. My voice was gone. I was coughing and hacking, and I just couldn't smoke during that time. And when I was all done, I thought, I got the little tiny minuscule nodule they found in my lung. Plus, I've been hacking from smoker's cough. Plus, now I was sick for 3 weeks and I stopped. You know what? I'm just going to keep it up. And every time I felt like I wanted to have a smoke, I went, nah, let's not do it. Every time I say no, it's going to be easier next time. And I never had deep cravings and it wasn't a difficulty quitting. I just like smoking. I just didn't smoke anymore. So that's why these are still here. And every now and then I'll light up a halfie of these. And I'll I don't even like the taste anymore. But sometimes I like to do it. Just the other day, like a week ago, I called up Jason and we had a smoke together. So I'm glad you are still here, Heather White. And what's this say? Always interesting learning more stuff about Scotland. I guess, learning about your home country, what's going on, what's gone on there, the history. And I think it's interesting. I want to go over there and see things I didn't see the last 2 times I was there and didn't even know anything about. The last time I was in Scotland did we even make it to Scotland? 2005. I think the corner of Scotland. It was it's Raglan Castle. If I'm spelling that right. Let's see. Raglan Castle. Oh, that's Wales. We touched the corner of Wales when we went to Raglan Castle. And we just happened to see it. We were driving when we got up in the morning at our bed and breakfast, and we saw this castle sign, Raglan Castle. And so let's go. That's what we were doing. Castle and pub hopping with my buddies and I. And we'd rented a car and we went for a couple of weeks. Boom. And so we ended up at Raglan Castle, but that's Wales, not Scotland. So the last time I was in Scotland proper was in 1990. That's 34 years ago. Jeez. So yeah, we went into Inverness. We drove down and we went through the outskirts of Glasgow to go around to go back down south to England. And we went all the way over to from Inverness. We drove I think it's about an hour east of there along the front the coast of the North Sea is the little town of Pennan, Pennan, Scotland. It's where they filmed the movie Local Hero in the 80s. Great movie. Makes you want to go to Scotland. And so we went over there and we didn't see much of Scotland, but we did we went to that little town, Pennan. We were in Inverness. I got a parking ticket in Inverness that I never paid. We went from there down to Loch Ness and, of course, Urquhart Castle And we went down through the Highlands there somewhere. We stopped at Glencoe, and then down and around Glasgow, and went back down to England. So that's the last time I was in Scotland. So my friend Chris Conway, we're going to visit him when I get there again, hopefully this summer. So we'll see. Did you look for Nessie? Well, we looked. I went, nope, no Nessie today. But we spent a lot of time at Urquhart Castle. Very cool place. And historically, an old Jacobite stronghold. If you don't know what the Jocks were, the Jacobites. And so, yeah, we had a good time there. And sometime, I'll show you pictures sometime. Got them somewhere. So Inverness. You know what I got to do? I got all these slides. I used to take Ektachrome with my camera and slides, and you know, the reels of slides, and you show them up on the, pull out the screen. Hey, everybody, let's look at our slides. And I'm going to take some of those, and I've got to send those reels in and get them converted. There's all these places you hear advertised for, is it Legacy or Legend or Legacy? I think it's Legacy box, something like that. You can send in all your slides, all your old VHS, all your old beta, you know, when we had the big cameras like this, and you put, hey, I got a video camera, and you can film your family doing stuff. And then I had a little one that had the mini cartridges that you had to put into the big cartridge that looked like a VHS so you could play it. And I've got a lot of that stuff that I need to send in and do something with and get those burned. But a lot of cool old stuff in there. And yeah. So Loch Ness and the Highlands and Glencoe. Glencoe, palpable when I was there. You could feel it from the massacre that took place there. We did a show on Glencoe not long ago, within the last 6 months. Quite a place. So, hey, by the way, if anybody wants to call in, because I've been yammering all on my own for an hour, other than Carlene. Carlene called in. Thank you, Carlene, for calling in. Let me put the invite up here. Heather, if you want to call in, it's always fun to talk to you. You can call in and use this link right here. Just paste that in. You'll come up down below here. I'll see you. And we can bring in Jason, if you're not too busy with your move in the thick of things. Give us a call. Anybody else want to call in? You're welcome to call in this morning. So we've got roughly, we usually go a couple hours. So, oh, there he is. As if on cue. Uh-oh. All I'm seeing is white screen, brother. Black screen. Blank screen. You're not coming through. I don't know if you're gonna or not. We'll leave it sitting like this for a minute and see what happens. So, coffee. So I still have my coffee maker sitting over there. Here, I'll remove you for now. Try again, and I'm gonna walk over there and warm up my coffee because it's all down here now. So let me get some more coffee. Not much left, but enough to replenish and heat up my coffee. There we go. Gonna unplug it. Or not unplug it, I'm just gonna turn it off. So, yes. Coffee, you gotta love the coffee. So, coffee helps me speak English in the mornings. Heather White says, need to go to Durness and see Shmoo Cave and the beaches up there. Definitely. I don't know a thing about those. Durness and Shmoo Cave and the beaches. Definitely go up there. Oh, JP is here. Boom. Or are you? Nope, he disappeared again. I think he's in his vehicle, so that might mean that I just tried. My phone is being weird. I saw you down there. I saw your picture, your miniature, but sadly, you didn't show. So there you go. Well, when we get into your town, Heather White, my daughters and I, show us the best place to go get a pint or something. I don't think we'd have time to do Schmoo Cave or Durness, but who knows? We might. I don't know nothing about nothing up there. So I got to look. I knew a few places in Scotland I want to go see. I think my daughters would like to go to Loch Ness. My daughter Abby did a. I may or may not have shown this before. I don't know for sure. I'm going to see if I've got. Let's see. I'm going to see if it's in here anywhere. Maybe not. There's a sweater that I wore in an old picture, and you've all seen that. I've shown it before. And my daughter did a, and I was sitting at Loch Ness, and that was in 1990. And my daughter wanted to buy a sweater like it. She looked everywhere to try to find that sweater. And so she could sit in the same spot where I had sat and take that picture. And I thought that was kind of cool. And it's I've got it I'll see if I've got it. If I've got it, I'll throw it up here. But let's see. It's Loch Ness. Maybe if I look for Loch Ness. No, that's not it. So, funny, the Loch Ness was a strip club over here in Wisconsin. It was kind of a nasty, randy strip club. So, how do I know this? I've been there. Let's see. I'm looking to see if that picture with Abby in it, and it's not here. I don't know why. That's odd. But this is a picture I took of Inverness, or at Loch Ness when I was there. This is in 1990, so I think a lot has changed since then. But this is Urquhart Castle, which is there. And it was when we got there, it was raining, and then within an hour, the sun was shining. It was crazy. So, and we took some gorgeous pictures there. But this was my first view of Urquhart Castle at Loch Ness. Well, is it going to find it again? Odd. And it looks kind of gloomy and bleak and all of that. But let's see by name. Loch Ness. Wow. Only 4 things came up when I searched it in Photoshop, and now I'm here in general looking for it, and I can't find it. That's really odd. So Loch Ness. No, it's not here. So I have no idea. Oh well. Is it open still? Yeah, here it is. It's Loch Ness, 1991. It says 1991 was where that was. I'll see once more if I can find that. Show you a nice picture of Loch Ness, 1991. Find it. See, it's just spinning. It's like, well, why can't it find it? Loch Ness, 1991, in a different program. So we'll see if it comes up. Odd that, huh? So, yeah, and then it was a gorgeous day after that. I'm just going to cancel that. I'm not going to worry about it. How about that? JP will call back if he can get his stuff going again here. That'd be fun. I'll get JP's take on Sunday morning. And all of you are welcome to call in. And when I see you down in the bottom, I will bring you in. Because you all brighten up my day and brighten up everybody's day. So we'll all get in here and talk away. So, boy, my computer is like running slow today. Maybe that means I need a new one. This is such a glorious computer. I would hate to think I already need a new computer. So, here it is. Loch Ness, 1991. How do I get it into here? That's the good question. I'm going to throw it over onto my desktop and see if that works. And let's see. Open. Cancel. All this just to show you a picture of a castle on a lake. Let's see. Loch Ness. Can't be opened because it was moved or deleted. Oh, all right. That's because I just moved it to a different spot so I could find it. So let's here. I'll find it. It's on my desktop now. Loch Ness, 1991. I have to convert this to not a JPEG, a PDF, so you can actually see it. All right, so I can actually load it up. Isn't this riveting radio? Riveting morning radio? You've seen me do this 100 times. So let's present the picture. And it's from my computer. And I hope it's not anticlimactic after all of this. But here is Loch Ness in 1991. There it is. So that was my first view of Loch Ness. We came over the little rise from the car park there, and I think you could see the tip of the castle over that. I'll take the overlay off. There you go. So that's the grounds. So that's how it looked when we first got there. And then it was gloriously sunshiny after that. So, let's see. I'm going to see if I've got, let's see if we can find this other one. I want to find the one. I know the one with my daughter Abby and I is around. I just couldn't tell you where. Abby, Loch Ness. See if it'll find it. Nope, it won't even find it, which means it must be in another file somewhere that I have moved from my computer to somewhere else. Y'all do that? Y'all store stuff and then you go, well, where's all that stuff I used to have? Because it just bothers me. It bothers me. I can't just access things because I don't know where I put them all. So, let's see. This radio silence as I'm looking for things. Scotty and car, blah, 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 blah. It's not here. Just not here. It got moved. That's all. Scotty and Sarah, Scotty and Rainy, Scotty and car. I got all these pictures, so. But not that one. Scotty and Marion. It's not there. Just looking to see if there's Scotty and Sarah and Marion. Serpent in the Rainbow is the next one. So no, I don't have it. I've lost it somewhere. Picture of my daughter and I. Anyway, there's Loch Ness. I was going to show you that picture because it's kind of cool. I had a picture where I was sitting in this, and I have this blue V-neck sweater with a white stripe around it. It looks very collegiate. And my daughter found a sweater just like it and took a picture 30 years later sitting at Loch Ness. And I thought that was pretty cool. So Heather says, my kids are running about screaming and shouting, or I would. Nobody would want to hear that. Sure we would. If you feel your camera ready, come on in. I don't care if your kids are running around shouting and screaming. Bring it in. It'll add some excitement. It's better than watching me look for a picture, huh? So, coffee. So, Jason's trying to get back over in here somewhere, and we'll see if he makes it in. And let's see. Let's do that. So what else is going on with everybody today? I have as you can tell, Sunday morning is just casual. We just do what we want to do. We have coffee talk. We can talk politics. We can talk religion. We can talk nothing about nothing. And it's all up to what you guys want to talk about. So, got something you want to share with us? Carlene came in this morning. It was nice to see Carlene. I haven't seen her call in for a long time. So it was good to have her back in. And all of you out there, if you want to talk, call in. So, oh yeah, that's the original. That's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one with my daughter in it. I wish it would show us. So, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to open this. Still kind of passively looking for this photo because I think it was just kind of fun. It's something my daughter did. So, anyway. My kids all want to go to Egypt, too. There's that. My kids would like to all go to Egypt with me. I know Sam wants to go to Egypt. I want to go to Egypt. Again. And Raini, she doesn't care either way. She goes to if she goes to Egypt or not. I don't think it's a big draw for her. And which is too bad. Kind of like it. Flynn wants to definitely go. So nope, that's not the picture. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Yep, nothing there, nothing there, and nothing there. I don't know where I file stuff. I've got one file where I file pictures that are family pictures and stuff like that. Just not here. Nope. It's having none of it. So that's too bad. But what's everybody got going on today? Does anybody want to talk about anybody? Bueller. Otherwise, there's JP. Hey, there you are.
Yeah, here I am.
Doing?
Exhausted. I had some friends drive in from Montana to help me out. They're hanging out, taking up my lawn chairs.
Oh, nice.
They've been an extraordinary help.
Oh, right.
Yesterday we were doing a lot of cleaning.
Thank you.
In case you didn't hear that, he said thank you. So, two friends and a dog showed up at like 4:30 in the morning on Saturday. So it's like, word.
Yeah.
So they helped me clean the upstairs yesterday, and we'll hit the downstairs in the garage today. And
right on.
Upstairs again.
By the way, Ron Frisbee, he's finishing up a commission this morning, an engine cover for a 2012 Dodge Challenger.
Nice.
Nice. Now, are you doing that all? Is it a wild illustration or is it a very technical illustration? So doing those commission pieces, always fun. And Ron Frisbee has some great work that he does.
Okay, so he paints.
He paints.
See,
he's an illustrator.
Actually, when somebody says they're finishing up a commission on a engine cover, I'm thinking they're actually like molding something, which is another really cool skill. So,
yeah.
Let's see.
Steph is standing in the line at the grocery store. See, that's what this show is all about. Jason's moving lawn chairs. Steph is standing in the line at the grocery store. What was that?
Said moving lawn chairs and moving. I have friends sitting on lawn chairs. Well, they're better than lawn chairs.
Dragon, he says. Oh, we got to see this one, Ron.
Is it Trogdor? The Burninator?
I don't know. It's a dragon of the engine, I guess.
It's an obscure humor website from like the late 90s, early 2000s reference. Yeah. That's just look up Trogdor the Burninator on YouTube.
Trogdor the Burninator. I may have seen that because it rings a bell for some weird reason. I haven't seen the Star Wars milk yet. Morgan Snow, is it blue?
That's what I was going to ask. Is the Star Wars milk blue?
Star Wars milk. Let's see. Star Wars blue milk, 1% low fat. Oh, it couldn't be whole milk, could it? Yeah, it's comes in the half-gallon cartons, and it's blue.
Okay, but here's the next question: did they flavor it, or is it just milk that they dyed blue?
I'm looking here to see. Let's see. Star Wars blue milk hits the DC area. Star Wars blue milk is coming to you soon. Here, let's look at this one because it's got a label that let's see. Star Wars blue milk is coming to grocery store shelves on Earth. March 21st, 2024 was this article. Ever since A New Hope, when we saw Aunt Beru serve her nephew Luke some blue milk on their Tatooine moisture farm, we've been wondering how it might taste. Well, in 2019, when Disneyland and Walt Disney World opened Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which I've been to, thank you to my daughters, our whole family went a couple of years ago, we learned the theme park lands finally brought us blue milk treats. And it turns out that blue milk is actually pretty yummy. Now, the rest of us Earthlings not near a Disney theme park will get to taste some blue milk straight from the grocery store and not from the planet Batu with Star Wars True Moo blue milk. It says it tastes good, but what's it taste like? Lucasfilm revealed the official blue. People tell me lactose-free milk tastes good. Maybe if you use it on Fruit Loops or something, and Fruit Loops cover the taste of the milk. Lucasfilms revealed the official blue milk as part of its imperial march of new product announcements. The new Star. How much do you suppose Star Wars makes for Disney? Not off of the movies or the films or the series, but just the ancillary product.
Yeah.
So the new Star Wars brand of vanilla-flavored milk will be hitting the shelves on April 17th. Now I use vanilla creamer in my coffee.
They couldn't have made it like blueberry or something. It's blue.
Yeah, really, blueberry.
Yeah,
I think more people will drink vanilla. That's the idea. It's like yogurt. You're gonna buy blueberry yogurt. You're gonna buy vanilla yogurt if you buy a flavor. Whenever we do stuff, like we make smoothies. We have frozen strawberries, frozen peaches, frozen blueberries, all in the freezer. And so the kids can take out the Tupperware that's got these in them. They load the frozen things in. They put in vanilla yogurt, and they grind it up in the blender, and they make smoothies. So it's pretty good. I can do it that way, but
so it's vanilla. Okay,
it's vanilla. Yeah, it comes from Dairy Farmers of America, True Moo. So on this upcoming May 4th, you'll be able to celebrate Star Wars Day in style and just the way Aunt Beru intended, with a cool glass of something blue. Just make sure you find yourself a Wookiee cookie to go with it. And even better would be a bowl of C-3PO's cereal. But sadly, no one makes that anymore.
Yeah.
So this is actually not the first Star Wars milk branding from the Dairy Farmers of America, True Moo. They've had little Grogu from The Mandalorian on their milk cartons in the past, as well as Darth Vader. Now the brand have both Darth and Luke on their milk containers. And so the art shows the pair fighting it out in a scene from the battle from The Empire Strikes Back, and we're not sure if the Star Wars Blue Milk is a limited time offering, but we hope this one sticks around. It all depends on the market, folks. It all depends on the market.
Do you remember when
they'll keep making it?
Do you remember when they re-released all of the original Star Wars with all the digital upgrades and stuff like that?
Yes.
So they showed all of them on Sci-Fi Channel prior to the release of the Phantom Menace and everything else, right? The prequels. Sci-Fi Channel did a whole thing. It was called Troops. And it was
I remember that.
And it was like a play on cops.
Yep.
So every time somebody mentions Aunt Beru,
yes,
did, all I can think of is it's so tragic that she brought out that thermal detonator.
I know.
That's what happened to Aunt Beru and Uncle Ben. It wasn't the stormtroopers. They were just responding to a domestic violence call.
That's it. That's it. According to troopers. Yeah. A domestic violence call. So, yeah, they didn't really do
the
it.
Empire for about 6 years now.
Who pulled the trigger first?
So first.
Yeah.
I don't care what George Lucas did with the digital stuff. No, Han shot first, and that was part of the appeal of Han.
Han was saving his butt. Why? He's a criminal. He was a smuggler. Of course he shot the dude first.
And he's a scruffy-looking nerf herder.
What?
He's a scruffy-looking nerf herder.
That's right. That's right. Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Who are you calling scruffy-looking?
Who you calling scruffy-looking? Here's the. I'm gonna stop. I'm hitting the wrong button. I'm going to load the picture of the blue milk.
Oh boy, here we go.
So you can all see this. Let's see. I used to be able to do this so smoothly. It was so smooth. I could do this stuff without talking or and talking over it. Now it's like, okay, I'm struggling with this. There it is.
Waiting, loading.
Loading. Here we are. There's your blue milk.
Oh, good God.
And that's the new label that's on it as of March of this year. So.
Good Lord.
Had a Star Wars ice cream shaped like a trooper, says Morgan Snow.
I remember those.
Have you seen the video I mentioned it the other night of the guy who interrupted? Well, not interrupted. He came and he protested in front of the Palestinian protesters, the pro-Palestinian on the college campus. And he had a stormtrooper helmet on.
Oh, yeah.
And he was protesting the Empire. There was no, believe it or not, there was not supposed to be any what's the word? It wasn't oh my God. Gulliver's Travels comes to mind. Satire. There was no satire. He wasn't satirizing the situation. He was just out and he was being funny. And I thought it was classic. He was just protesting the Empire as a stormtrooper. So
yeah, well, it kind of is satire in a way.
Well, it is and it isn't. Yeah. Oh! I lost you accidentally. Sorry. Now you're back. There's my young child.
Hello.
Ellie, what are you doing? Oh, you're coming to join us. Pull up a chair. So, that means she's staying for a while.
I love seeing when people do that sort of thing. There's a guy, I think it's called Veteran with a Sign.
Yeah.
And he holds up all these cardboard signs that he makes that are just absolutely hilarious. And it's usually veteran humor related stuff, but the guy just shows up random places and he just holds it up like he's protesting something or he's, you guys are boring. Trying to beg for change.
Thank you.
It's just like, oh God.
My daughter just declared us boring and left. So there you go.
It's not the first time I've heard that. It won't be the last time I've heard that.
Yeah, really. Not the last time I've ever heard that, or not the first time I've ever heard that. So,
Yeah. But I just wanted to pop on real quick and say, hey, I need to get off of
well,
here
I'm glad you
and get
did.
to work. So
Good to have you. You know,
always a
some people
pleasure.
think that my doing this radio show, now officially a podcast because I'm not on radio anymore,
Yeah.
that it's a colossal waste of my time. Well, what do you get out of that? Do you make any money on it? Do you what's it do
Socializing.
for you? You know, and it's like, well, I like doing it. Do I make money? I can buy a pack of cigarettes every month, but I don't smoke that much anymore.
Right.
You know, 3 cigarettes in 9 months. I could buy a pack a year. And so it doesn't make a lot of money. Is it a waste of time? Well, everybody goes to bed in my family by 9 o'clock. That's when I do my show. So I say, see you later to my wife, and tell my kids all good night at 8:45. Sometimes we read at 8:10, you know, and you know, everybody's in bed, everybody's quiet, house is quiet. I do my thing. And so, you know, and this show this morning, I never wanted to be like all the podcasts, the plethora, the myriad plethora, the mountain of podcasters that rose up out of nowhere during COVID. Everybody's you know, in sequestration at home. I know, I'll do a podcast. And I had somebody once, we were talking politics on something on Instagram. Oh, you're just one of those. Oh, I just looked at your page. You're one of those podcasters. And I go, well, no, frankly, I've been doing radio since 2000.
Yeah.
At the time, it was 23 years ago. Now it's 24 years ago. And so sometimes I've podcasts. Sometimes now I'm once again officially a podcast. But what would separate me and my show? I start thinking in those terms. What makes me any different than all the rubes who come in and want to do their look, I bought this podcasting mic kit that I can get on Amazon. And that doesn't mean you have a voice for it. It doesn't mean you know how to talk. It doesn't mean you know how to deal with topics and so on. And maybe there's times I don't, you know, maybe there's times I'm boring as shit. And but you know, there it is.
There it is.
And,
well,
so,
I am gonna hop off, brother. It's
right
good
on.
seeing you.
No comment to any of that. Okay. Well,
no, I think you said it all. Like, what do I need to add to that?
I wasn't looking for a comment. I was just kidding. It's always fun to have you on. I'm glad that you come on.
It's always good to be on.
Guess what? Now, since we had that tech issue with the radio station and I couldn't bring on guests and hear them, now we can. During the main show, I can bring live guests on again. So
exactly,
we're doing a lot of that.
Well, I look forward to it.
I do too. Brother, you go have a fun day with your guests. Tell them not to wear out your lawn chairs.
Right.
There will be shenanigans.
Will they hear that?
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I will.
Guests. Good to have you.
Catch everyone later.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next time. All right. There goes JP. So, anybody else have anything else going on? You want to talk about anything? You want to do anything? You want to bring up a topic that's interesting to you? Because this morning, remember, Sunday mornings, informal. We don't have anything planned. So, oh, my daughter's back. Are we not boring anymore?
You guys were talking too much.
Talking too much. It's what we do. You know what happens when you don't talk on radio? It sounds like this. And do you know 2 seconds of blind spot or 2 seconds of silence is equates to almost 10 to 30 seconds of silence when you're listening on the radio. So that's where I learned to talk all the time. Why? Like what?
You guys are always like talking about Egypt or like
Egypt or Scotland
or history.
It's boring. Politics. It's all boring.
Unless it's either about the Titanic or the 9/11.
It's boring unless we're
That's-
talking about Titanic or 9/11.
That's the only history you can talk about.
So, how do you draw an octopus? Says Morgan Snow. Is that for me or for Ellery?
You draw a circle, and then you draw 8 legs.
A circle with 8 legs. Duh, Morgan. So, legs, do they have boots? Can octopus wear boots?
No.
Could you imagine having 8 legs? You'd have to buy 4 pairs of shoes just to go out. So you want to go play basketball. You have to have 4 pairs of tennis shoes on. And would you have left and right shoes? Or would they all be straight lasted shoes? Just boom, boom, boom. The same straight shoes for every foot. What do you think?
I need a piece
Boring. All right, there you go. There's that. Sounds a lot like a spider, said Randall Flagg. Spider with 8 shoes.
A spider has 2 body parts.
A spider does have 2 body parts.
Yeah. Spiders have circle. Spiders have circle. Here, I'll draw it for you.
Okay, you draw one. You got a marker?
Yes.
Okay, she's going to draw. She's going to demonstrate for us on her whiteboard.
It's not a
Okay.
whiteboard.
Draw me an
Here,
octopus.
Joe Biden paper. I'm
It's
drawing a
my Joe
spider
Biden
first.
paper.
Yeah. That dude looks like
Oh.
Joe Biden.
Art paper that has an old guy, an illustration of an old guy on the front cover. And she goes, that looks like Joe Biden. All right. Wait.
No, I'm
Wait.
not done.
Wait, she's not done yet. What's that look like so far? Hairy testicles.
I heard that.
Okay, finish your drawing. Does it have a face?
That's what I'm drawing. If you would just.
That's what everybody does to me when I'm drawing. Well, Rainey will sit here when I'm designing something, and she'll go, "Well, that needs to be bigger." And I go, "I'm not done yet, sweetie. Let me work with it here." Oh, it's purple. You've got it black. Well, I haven't added color yet. I know. Just let me finish.
That's how I spell Charlotte.
There you go.
Stop! I'm not done.
Excuse me. So, now draw an octopus next to it in comparison.
Okay.
All right. She's done with the spider. We're just going to wait to see what the octopus looks like next to it. It's just the same with curly legs. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop! I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I could have told you that.
And then it has eyes.
It's got big eyes.
Smile.
Is that where the smile is?
Yes.
Okay. Does it have horns or anything?
No.
Octopus? Don't octopus have horns?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah. Thick legs.
Circle, circle, circle.
What are those circles?
They're little grippy
Suction
things.
grippy things. It's only got one? Oh, you're going to do them all. There you go. This is our art lesson for the day. We're going to draw some pretty little octopuses. Hey, Scott Allen. Boy, it's Illustrators morning. We've got Ron Frisbee. We've got Scott Allen. We've got me. We got 3 illustrators in the house this morning. How about that? So we're just having my daughter is giving us a. Oh well, you're the 4th one. Let's see. That doesn't even tip to show the paper. I can't tilt it that far down.
I'm not done.
You're not done yet. All right. She is drawing octopus, showing us a. Hey, Randall Flagg says and Ellery. There you go. Thank you, Randall. So she's showing us now the difference between 8-legged spiders and 8-legged octopi. Do you know octopi is the plural of octopus? If you have more than one, it's octopi. It's not octopuses. GLL. Oh,
No,
that's an O. Sorry, you didn't close your O. Octi.
Octi.
Got it.
That's his
But
name.
did you know?
I'm not done.
All right, she's not done. So, we're going to be wrapping the show with
Okay,
this
I'm
art.
done.
So, all right, there you go. There is the difference between. Sorry, I'll hold it here so you can see the artist. There is.
That's Charlotte and that's Octi.
It looks like Chorlet. Chorlet. It should be an A, not an O. And then Octi. So there's your difference between a spider with 8 legs and an octopus.
This isn't your art, it's mine. Get your face out.
Well, I'm talking. So I suppose I can talk from behind the art. I can look from back here. There you are, folks. There's your art lesson for the day. Scott Allen, Ron Frisbee, top that. So there's your Octi and your Charlotte. See, I would draw
Bunny now.
Yeah, draw a bunny now. And so you can see how we've gone from our serious topics today. Draw a kraken, says Randall Flagg. Release the kraken. What is that?
It's a bunny.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So inspiring, says Scott Allen. You should see some of her other work where she's not under pressure like this with a live audience. She does some good stuff sometimes. Oh, I see the bunny rabbit there. So his other leg would be up here.
What?
His other leg would be up here.
No.
If that's his belly.
No. But
Oh,
he's hot.
all right. Oh, who have we got? I like kids. Yeah, well, you know what? I like kids. Not bringing you on. Here, put your hand down.
I don't want to see that.
We've got I like kids over here is
Tell me when it's done.
showing us his erect penis. So, and then he vanished. So I didn't bring him on.
Is it gone now?
So yeah, it's gone. So there you go. I'll bet you he doesn't have the courage to come into the chat room now. So well, that's a cute bunny. You done yet?
No. I have to draw the inside.
So we've gone from bunny rabbits to guys that live in their mom's basement showing us their genitals. All right.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly,
How
Randall
to
Flagg.
name it?
Following in her pop's footsteps. Thank you. Yeah, she is. She's going to be the illustrator and designer, this one, the writer. Yeah, there are sick people out there.
That's Bob.
Okay, here's Bob. Bop.
Bob.
Bop. The bunny rabbit. There you go. Hey, I like kids. You're a dick. How about that? So, why don't you come in and introduce yourself? Give us your home address. We'll send you letters. Let you know what we think of your genitalia.
Now what should I draw?
Yeah, he popped back in here, by the way. So, let's see.
Now what should I draw?
What should you draw?
Yeah.
By the way, it says his name is Jack Jacklin, authenticated with YouTube. So he wishes he had a peen. There you go. Thank you, Steph.
Now what should I draw?
What do you want to draw?
I don't know. I'll draw Bing Bing the Ding.
How about you let me have adult talk with these people for the next few minutes?
No, I gotta draw Bing Bong the Ding Dong.
Okay, go draw them. And I'll talk over here. You can bring it over when you're done drawing. So yeah, it's guys like I like kids over here, he calls Mr. Pedophile, showing off his genitalia. It's guys like that he obviously doesn't believe that what he's doing is good, or he would put his name to it. He would tell us who he is. He'd come in and have a conversation. But no, he's just got to show his genitalia and waggle it in front of the camera because he lives in mom's basement. Obviously can't get a girl. A woman. So he's got to do what he's doing. So there you go. And let's see what he's saying. So here's what he said, because his little miniature, about that big, showed up below my screen. He private messaged me and he said, "Let me see your daughter's reaction, please. She's so pretty. I'm so sorry. For again, touch your nose, pretty please. Bye, bro." So he said, "I'm not your bro, first of all." So there you go, folks. That's what those kind of people do.
I'll come back down here when I'm done.
All right. She's going to go draw. I'm only on for a few more minutes, baby. So.
Can't you just do it longer?
Yeah, he's a troll, Steph. Of course he is. So. Yeah, she's over there at the table drawing a picture. So. Yeah, it's guys like that. They do that kind of thing. They don't care if you insult them because you don't know who they really are. I would love to know who he really is so we could all insult him. We could all call him on the phone. We could write him letters. And we could probably have him charged with indecent exposure. But and you guys know me. I don't care about not much. There's not much as an adult. I don't show nudity on this show. We've gotten close. Thank you for those bikini shots, Steph. Yeah, I do more than insult him too, Scott Allen. You got that. But you know what I don't like to do? I don't like to feed into the kind of comments that just feed his narcissism. And his particular sociopathology. It would be nice to put his name out there, wouldn't it? There's ways to find out. So anyway, all they're trying to do with that is they get you. We had some guy stand up and show off his penis once before. That's why I just don't bring just anybody in. I say, come into the chat room, talk to the people in the chat room, let them vet you, and so on. We've got moderators in here that will vet people. So, yeah, somebody like that needs a good shot to the throat. I'm just saying. Oh, now I'll probably get banned for being violent. Coffee. My coffee's starting to get cool already. So if I'm going to drink a cold drink, I should just get one. He likes kids because he wouldn't know what to do with my picks. Ain't that the truth, Steph? So, hey, do me a favor. Grab me a Black Mountain Dew, top right of the refrigerator out there. And it's the 0 sugar Mountain Dew, please.
Okay.
There's Rowan. There's my other daughter. You guys want to go to Mary's Park today?
No. Yeah.
She's going to have a bunch of adults there too. So. What are you smiling about? You want to hang with adults?
Yeah.
It's possible. She's going to have food and stuff at noon.
His name is Dino and he's going roar.
Okay, there you
He
go.
said roar.
There's the dinosaur saying roar. That's your dino. So there you go. Very nice. Thank you.
Can we
Can we bring some beer?
I'm gonna draw a squirrel.
You don't have to worry about beer. You're only 12.
I'm gonna draw a squirrel because she said squirrely. So
Let's see. What's that say? Gets all squirrely and shit. Yeah. She's talking about somebody else.
I don't want to go.
Randall Flagg says nice artwork.
I'm still sick. I don't want to go.
It's nice outside today.
I'm sick.
It's sunny and warm. Not a cloud in the sky.
Go with Ellery.
I know she wasn't talking about the animals.
No, if I go, you're both coming along.
I'm not going.
I am.
So,
You can't make me.
oh, sure I can.
I'll go with Jamie.
I can make you. I'll tell Jamie not to accept your visit.
I'm not going with you.
Yeah. What, are you going to sit all day on your phone again?
Yeah, because I'm still sick.
Thank you. You're not sick.
Yes, I am.
You got the wrong one. That's not where I told you to pull it from. I said top right. Did I not, folks, say top right of the refrigerator? That's the lower left you took that from. I don't like Baja Blast. Thank you, Ellie, says Morgan Snow, for your beautiful artwork.
I'm not going with you.
Here you go. That's from Scott Allen, Steph. He can handle your picks.
Hey, now I'm gonna draw a squirrel.
And by the way,
I'm gonna draw a bunny.
the pics that Steph sent me, yeah, they were hot, they were sexy and all that, but we did that on a live show. We did that on a morning coffee with KB. Bop is attacking the dino. Very Monty Python. You don't know that reference yet. Your rabbit is attacking the dino. I know he could, says Steph. Randall Flagg, that was an excellent show. I probably still have those pictures of her somewhere. I couldn't tell you where they are. Nothing's ever where I thought I left it. Cancel. I'm just going to see if I have any of those, Steph. If you don't mind. I don't know how they're saved, though, to tell you the truth. I don't know if I named them anything or if I put Steph on them. Let's see. Or if it's just got the weird numbers that come up. Steph. A million things come up, but none of them are your picture. Steph. I got the Stephanie Bigfoot picture. The signs of your impeached Biden being held by your Bigfoot cutout in your yard. That one comes up under Steph. I don't think I have any of your other cool pictures. However, that's too bad. Maybe they're in here. Oh, no. I can't put that one up. It's not of Steph. Let's see. Nope. Apparently I don't, Steph.
That's Fight Bunny.
Sorry.
I'm gonna top Fight Bunny.
There you go. Fight Bunny. Hey, that's like, where'd Tam O'Hare go? Oh, you got it over here.
Yeah, because I had to.
There's Tam O'Hare. So these were the freebies we made when we were reading Tam O'Hare out at the Renaissance Festival. It was after I had retired out. So it was 2007. I was invited to come back and read on the children's stage, readings from Tam O'Hare. And we had some of our friends. Uncle Dave was one of them. He made those masks. I told you all about that. He made those masks that we used. And they reenacted the sword fight from the book as I read it to the kids' audience. And then Abby, Bryn, and Sam. Yeah, they were the only ones alive back then. Of my kids. And so they made all of these. They made like 200 of these things. And they handed them out to kids while we had them. And so little bunnies with swords on a stick. I have one left. And it sits here on my desk. So my kiddos made those. So anyway, I'll share my link again. Please do, Steph. Might have to have another one of those shows. Yeah, we might have to. I know those pictures exist, Steph, because I I ran across them at some point. Let's see, Stephanie. How are you as Stephanie or Steph? I'm looking for you on here where I've got you from Facebook. That's probably where they are. I think that's where you sent them to me. Yeah. Here is your messages. Let's see if I'll bet you they're in here going way back. I got to find pictures though that you, let's see. Oh, these are your Bigfoot tattoo pictures are in here. Oh, I found them. What?
The beaver doesn't. The only thing that makes the beaver a beaver is the tail.
Here, let's see.
It's beaver.
The only thing that makes a beaver is the tail.
That's the only thing that makes it look like
Is
a
the
beaver.
tail. It looks good. Bevo.
Bevo the beaver.
Bevo the beaver. There you go. Keep filling that board up.
And Fight the bunny, Charlotte the spider, Oxy the octopus, Bob the bunny, and Dino the dinosaur.
There you go. It's you know, it's amazing to me how we can go from oh, careful over there. Knocking my lights down.
I'm gonna draw a unicorn.
Okay, you draw a unicorn.
Wait, no, I'm gonna draw a mermaid.
So, folks, if you don't remember, sometime back, I was filling in for Kenny on his show, and somehow we got into talking about, swimsuits. I think it started with talking about Terry Pitts, and that Terry Pitts, one of Ken's regular listeners, how he was well, they call him the Speedo King. And so it got into talking about, swimsuits, stuff like that. And so then we opened it up to everybody could send in their swimsuit pictures if they so desired. And Steph hopped right on board that one. And so I showed some of Rainy and some of Steph and everybody else. And this is public airwaves. So it wasn't grotesquely, it wasn't pornographic or anything like that. But it was tasteful, yet it was edgy for some people. And you know what made it edgy? Was Steph's pictures. So Steph sent some in, and they were phenomenal, and they still are. We could show every one of them. You see more than this on TV nowadays than you see in these pictures. But I thought they were really fun and fun to share, and it became a very edgy morning. So, someone sent me a Finfolk photo of the mermaid with the lightsaber, not even knowing my connection to you, and as such, them. Yeah, and Scott Allen, that was that Hannah, the one with the green lightsaber, or was it Grace, the one with the Sith Lord, Darth Maul? They did two of them. They did a whole photo shoot the other day with some of those.
Hannah was the one with the green lightsaber.
Yes, she was. Grace.
The one with dark.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I just said. Let's see. Let's find. Here's the one picture from Steph. That we let me find it here. It's all alphabetized. I just saved it here. Oh, there it is. It's loading, folks. It's loading. Those of you who are eager, Steph. I don't apologize because you sent this to me to show up on Ken's show. So here it is, folks. Here is Steph. Boom. That was the morning that we talked on Ken's show, and we were showing off swimwear and lingerie. It got pretty wild on Kenny's morning coffee with KB. So there you go. There you go. Thank you, Steph, by the way, again. And by the way, I have a whole bunch of these and found where they are now. So yes, other people send in pics too. Yeah, Steph wanted to make that very clear. Other people send in pictures too. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. And everybody was sending them in. That morning got wildly rancorous, shall we say, because everybody was sending in there, and it was mostly women. It wasn't a lot of guys sending in their swimsuits. So there you go. That's from Scott Allen. Clap, 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 clap. Yes, indeed. And there you go from Elderberry. So there it is. Thank you, Steph.
I drew a mermaid.
You drew a mermaid.
Yeah, I drew a mermaid.
Okay. She drew a mermaid on here. Oh, there it is. Mermaid.
Maggie the mermaid.
That's what my hair looks like in the morning. Right there.
I tried
Maggie
to draw a mermaid.
the mermaid.
I tried to draw a mermaid down there, but it didn't turn out very
It didn't
well.
turn out. That was the one that's what Scott Allen and Ron Frisbee and I do. Whenever we draw something we don't like, we just like, oh, let's start again. So there you go. I don't have any recent drawings. I haven't been doing a lot of drawings for clients lately. You know, the most recent things I have are these. And these aren't even, and these are old. You've seen these. Pen and ink. And that's when I scanned in and it became a color illustration. This is the original ink. And I scanned that and colorized it in Photoshop.
Drawing that I did.
This is an old drawing that Ellery did of a spider. Does it go this way?
No.
No, it goes because it's hanging from a web. That's sitting over here. This is one I did. Actually ended up finishing this for the final illustration. I drew the dude and then light lines in ink, and then I took it from there in Photoshop and did a whole lot of other things in Photoshop. So that's just what's sitting right here. A bunch of guys, you know, having a drink. The older guy in the background there, that is who is that? That is why is his name Leakey? That's Louis Leakey. And all these guys are in school. He's taken, this is our main character. He's the archaeologist in the book as he gets older. And Lou Leakey. And I've got Lou Leakey back here in Photoshop. I made him a ghost. So he's ghosted in the background. He's ghostly and kind of like Anakin and Yoda and all of them showing up as ghosts in the Star Wars franchise. I don't off the top of my head, sweetheart. So you would absolutely kill it as a Twitch art streamer. What do you do? Is that when you do the hey, Unleash Jeremy Hansen? Is that your Twitch art? I know what Twitch is. Is that like the stuff that you do? You see people doing on YouTube and TikTok and all that. You do time lapses of your art, something like this. Yeah. Thank you.
I painted.
There you go. Yeah, she painted that. That's from Tam O'Hare, by the way. That's framed. That's one of my daughter's pictures. They had them here when they moved. They didn't bring them, and they ended up staying at the house here. And so they're sitting here for one of these times. They're going to bring them home with them. So, field guy, if I knew how to draw, hey, hand me that little stack in the yellow folder and those color pictures. Hand me that whole yellow folder and the pictures underneath it. There you go. Oh, don't tip it sideways too much. They're all going to fall out of there. There you go. All right. This is a folder that was sitting in a box I just found recently. But these are some of the illustrations from The Sword and the Clay. And so this is a painting made to look like the old picture of the brothers, Will Bird and his brother Steve. And there's a bunch of stuff in here. and some of the illustrations from that book. And well, didn't know those were all. Some of these are, like these. These are the original watercolors, which got scanned, and I touched them up digitally. This was Marius Abruzzo's brothers. So that's a watercolor painting there. So these are the originals. This was the original of Marius Abruzzo entering the camp. And I did a lot of digital work on this one. I really didn't like the way this one turned out. I don't know. You draw whatever you want. This one is almost untouched digitally, but this is the brothers swearing allegiance to each other. This is Indudio Maris, which I did digitally enhance. This one, I changed the color of the red scarf. I didn't like it. It was too red. I gave him a battle axe in his hand, stuff like that. This is the where Wilbur finds the sword in the clay, hence the title of the book, The Sword in the Clay, the old Roman gladius, and that's about what it looked like. The handle was all shredded apart or deteriorated, etc. It was an old Roman gladius. So World War I, and there's all kinds of other stuff in this folder. Let's see what all's in here. Oh, this is one I did for leggings. It's supposed to be a hawk, and I put no background on it because we did this for a pair of leggings that wrapped around the leggings. So stuff like that. There was a platypus. So I did a platypus for the same thing. Platypus, watercolor. Some of these got enhanced digitally too. And then I do a lot of, you may not know this, I used to do a lot of political cartooning. So that's what that was. And so critical race theory in our schools. I like being black. Cool, says the other kid. I like being white. And the black kid goes, racist. It's got to be carefully taught. So that was a political cartoon for somebody. This is from an illustration for a kid's book. One of the books about the gingerbread kids. And what else we got in here? Here's the original pen and ink drawing from How to Be an Archaeologist. The kid putting stuff up on his shelf.
I drew a minion.
You drew a minion.
Marty
See if you can find the minion right there. Marty the Minion. Right between the beaver and the rabbit. Marty the Minion. Very good. Here's the original ink of this one. This is just fun for me. You might not enjoy it, but hopefully you don't not enjoy it. There's the original of that. And I'm curious. I am just curious to know if I've got any of these in PDF format so you can see how they turned out. If I upload, if I go here, you can see if those of you don't know how these turned out, it would be in Little Platinum Books, How to Be an Archaeologist. And takes a second to call this up because this is all calling it from an external source. Let's see, where are the illustrations? Illustrations. I think I have some of these as PDFs. I'm not sure. It's taking its sweet time trying to come up. Let's see if I've got it under sample spreads. It's working on it. But that's, you did what?
I signed my name in cursive on
There. Her name's signed on the back. There you go.
If you can't see, there's a giant heart.
I'm going to see which one. Here. There's this one, but it's not the full. Oh, maybe it is. Hold on. Let's see what we got. We got Lou Leakey. Here we got this one. Remember I said the ghost of Lou Leakey in the background, kind of the spirit of Lou Leakey being there. That was this drawing, and I scanned it and I colorized it in Photoshop. So it was this drawing done in pen and ink, and then this is how it looks in color. Now this was all the color was done in Photoshop. So there he is. So I did all the rest of this in Photoshop and made him look like a ghost in the background and added all the extras in Photoshop. So that was fun to do. And this one, I think I just found this one as well. I can add this to the stage. Let's see. We'll present the slide and from my computer and upload, and it's right. Well, that's leaky. Skeletal remains. That one's in here. Indus College. Okay, here's this one. Let me add this illustration. It's a little different one. It was from this one, where I said how I drew all this stuff and I roughed it in, and then I didn't like this guy at all. I didn't like the way he was turning out, and so I just redid them in Photoshop. And let's see. It's loading, I think. Yeah, here it is. Here's how this one turned out when I colorized it, digital color in Photoshop. Boom. Digital pen and inking, digital coloring, and all of that. This is a little multimedia too, I will admit. This is in the background here, you see a map. I just pulled that map offline, and then I did all the digital work to make it look like an old map. It was an archaeologist drawing, quick drawing of an archaeologist, from an archaeologist. So that's how it goes from pen and ink to color when I use digital color. And so there you go. There's that. So all that stuff, that's how all of it works on here. This was still my favorite, is this one. This was the first illustration for how to be an archaeologist. And I think the only one I've got of this shows it side by side with the text of the book, how the pages look. And by the way, the publisher still has this. He hasn't done anything with it yet. So if I go here and I go to, I got to go back here and I got to go to transferred files, and Little Platinum Books is the publisher. How to be an archaeologist. And I go to sample spreads, and we got this one. Let's see, this will come up in a second. How I took this one and colorized it on Photoshop. And I'm glad I did that because I've saved the pen and inks now. We're going to use this to do a coloring book with this stuff too. Those detailed coloring books. So this was the original in pen and ink. You can see that is finished down on the bottom. It's just light pen and ink down there. And this is the finished version, colorized in Photoshop. So I did all this meticulous work, the reflection work and all of that is done in Photoshop. And all the coloring, yada yada, the lighting, and so on. So that's how it looks. And the text with that, as you've heard me read on this show before, the text on this is, "You had no idea. You were just out to play, wading in the shallows of the river that day. When your bare foot dislodged it, broke it loose from the clay, a pipe carved in meerschaum, 100 years in the Cray." Cray is the name of the river. "Someone had lost it or tossed it away off the bridge in your town that spans River Cray. The pipe sank to the bottom, and for the next 100 or so years lay quietly waiting for you to appear." And so there he is with the clay pipe at the bottom. So that was the original there. So you take that and you do your work off of that. Anyway, moving on. This is when he's running up to the curiosity shop on High Street. And this ends up being a red comet that I put in there. And I've got the sun sunbursting off of the reflection on that. That's all Photoshop work. So he's running up to High Street to show that off. What else we got in here? I got a ton of stuff. This has got all kinds of stuff in here. Some of it worth looking at, some of it not worth looking at, frankly. What do we got? Oh, this was the clay pipe. This was the clay pipe picture of Admiral Lord Nelson. And then the guy next to him, I actually took him and moved him, and I made him really light. I was trying to show what that looked like And this is when he's sunken in the water. This might be a fun one to look at here if I can find it. With this particular illustration, we're going to go to illustrations. And let's see if I've got this in here. The pipe, there's the pipe on the shelf. The pipe, the final color. Okay, here is what this looks like. I'm going to resave it as a PDF just because it's fun to go through this and show this is how I did this by hand, was this drawing, and then I went in and did digital color. Sometimes I paint illustrations, as you know, like for the sword and the clay. Those painted illustrations, the Roman stuff and all of that. And sometimes I like to use the digital color. It depends on the effect I want it to have and the way I want it to look at the very end. So I will show you this picture. Now, here's the pen and ink of the clay pipe that he finds. And let's see, did I actually import this one from my computer? Here is the clay pipe. Let's see if we can find it. Pipe. All right, I'm importing that right now. So talk about the bomb diggity. The bomb diggity. So here you go. That's the pen and ink. Then I did this, the color, in Photoshop. So this is all airbrushed. And those of you who use digital, you other illustrators out there, this is all colored in Photoshop, airbrushed in Photoshop with the different brushing tools. The highlights are all brushwork. The spills and the stains are all brushed. The color in the background is just simply, this is pen and inked, and then pen and inked in Photoshop, by the way, and then colorized. And then here's our guy in the background here. You can see him. I just put him really light and hazy back here to show what the meerschaum pipe would have looked like. And then, of course, we have the kid at the very end. He's smoking the pipe. So there's that. I don't know what this was for, by the way. We're just going through this little mini portfolio here. I don't know what that was all about. Oh, I know what that was. That was showing what they found on the Shroud of Turin. They found that the character has a belt on that was faded into the background, a belt and some cloth. And then he had on this arm, he had the Jewish prayer strap wrapped around his arm in the Shroud of Turin. So that was what that sketch was supposed to be, showing what that was. This was for another book, and this was the initial sketch of the goat that I didn't like at first. So this was a pencil sketch of the goat that was eating the... I didn't like that one, so I redid it, and this is how he turned out. And that is not the... And then the final, I added all the background colors and all of that in Photoshop. So that's the goat. Oh, this kid waiting, that was the initial sketch I did, and I didn't like it at all, so I did it over again. This is the old couple from the gingerbread book, and all the gingerbread cookies coming to life after they baked them. And the fox, and I didn't like the fox. I totally changed his eyes in Photoshop, added the backgrounds and stuff like that. Just wildly kind of modern art looking backgrounds I did in Photoshop. This ended up being the cover. There's the old dude making the gingerbread cookies. Kind of creepy. Let's see what else we got in here. That's nothing. Oh, here's the chicken. The chicken who first attacked the gingerbread man. So, gingerbread people. This is toward the end of the book. The old couple with the gingerbread, and they fixed up the guy who's been eaten up. You see all the little patchwork on him. Blah, blah, blah. Then the horse who wanted to eat the gingerbread man. And I add all these backgrounds, then I just added in Photoshop. There's the pig that ate him. I added a split rail fence behind him and lollipop looking trees, kind of a fantasy land type of thing. And this is when he comes limping back home after he's lost all his limbs. And I colorized that all in Photoshop as well. There he is sitting by the tree, crying because he's lost 3 of his limbs and 1 of his eyes. So, and the old lady, I took her out of the illustration at the end. Oh, we saw that one. Then I got a bunch of old stuff like this. This is a Roman soldier. That was for a church vacation Bible school, as they do in the summertime for a week. And we had the theme of, and it was at my old church. This is 30 years ago. Old theme. They were doing Israel or Jerusalem in first AD, time of Jesus, for vacation Bible school. Everybody was in costume. I built a big Goliath to the biblical measurements, 9.5 feet tall. And I used shingles for his armor. And I had rope and board arms, so ropes for the joints for his wrists, and I tied them together around a big spear, and I had the big spear, and then I had a rope attached to that, and kids had to stand out in like 15 feet away from him and throw a ball and try to hit his head. I had his head on a joint or on a hinge, so if you hit the head hard enough, the head would topple over. It's just the hinge. But I used the spear, and I had a rope on that, so his arms would go like this and try to block the ball that they're throwing at his forehead. So that was a lot of fun. But this was part of the logo that I developed for that church thing. And the sword and the clay, which you've all seen. That started as storyboards for the publisher, as I was doing and these are just quick thumbnail drawings of what I wanted the storyboards to look like. And with the troops in World War I and the brothers Abruzzo over here. And you've all seen these illustrations, and that's the guy that's on the cover of the book. And the tanks and all that in World War I. And, you saw this one with the, where they've got their brother's sword on the riverside. So these were all the thumbnails for that, for the publisher. And page 2, showing all the other things going on. This was the final illustration here, right here, of that. And so that one, and you can all see it in the book, how they turned out. And you've seen it here 100 times. No need to show it again. But little spot illustrations for that book of the shovel, which I made some changes to that in Photoshop. That was a chapter header. This is the axe that I drew for Indudio Maris, the Celtic warlord. This was his axe right here. And I added that, that's watercolor, and then I just added that in Photoshop rather than mess with the original illustration. Oh, this was one that was used for the book, for the title page. The sword and the clay. The Roman gladius with the World War I bonnet from the 42nd Highlanders. This was Julius Caesar. And I manipulated this one in Photoshop because I didn't like it. The proportions didn't work for me. And so I moved that one around a bit. And I flipped him the other way around. So that was Julius Caesar. This one was where he first sees the ghost of his brother when he's out. That's one of the first big illustrations in the book. He sees the ghost of his brother. And so this is just watercolor. And I added the sky in Photoshop. I just did blue because I don't like, when I watercolor a sky, I don't like the tones. I didn't want to see the brush strokes in the sky. I just wanted a clear sky. And so I added just the color in the background, then a big sun, and it's sunlighted and all of that and all of everything. So it's that. This was an illustration for the book. This is supposed to be Will Bird when he got his full uniform, and it looked more cartoony than the rest of the illustrations for some reason, and I didn't like it, but it's in the book. This is the final illustration that's in the book. Marius Abruzzo and Will Bird, and he's got the sword. So ghosts, both of them it's supposed to be. And then what I did in Photoshop was I added the sunshine. Here, look. I'll show you this from the book itself. So the published book, the last illustration in the book is that picture. And I'll show you how that turned out. So what I did was I added, you don't see it quite as clear on this camera, I added the sunburst in the background between them to add some dimensionality to that background because I didn't like the way this turned out, the sky. So I redid it in Photoshop. That's that. This is his brother. Ghosts have warm hands. The night at Vimy Ridge, and he feels two warm hands in the middle of the night pull him to his feet and say, "Follow me." And it's his brother who died a year and a half earlier in battle. And he follows his brother out. His brother pulls him to his feet. He follows him out, and then and his brother saved his life. His story, because a few minutes later, the place where he was sleeping was bombed by the Germans, and everybody that was in that part of the trench was killed. And so I wanted to show this look on his face of what he's looking at. It's a ghost of his brother. Pulls him to his feet and says, "Follow me." And so one of the criticisms was that I was showing too much. His legs were too widespread from the publisher. And so I closed his legs up just a little bit for the final illustration. You don't see so much of this. He's wearing a kilt. So some stuff like that. And I mess with the lighting a little bit in Photoshop. This one is the Will Bird, and they're spreading barbed wire. This is just watercolor. And they're spreading. I changed his face, by the way. It didn't look like the illustrations of Will Bird from earlier in the book. So I changed it a bit in Photoshop. This guy has a cigarette. And I was told by the publisher, you should lose the cigarette because kids are going to be looking at this. And I thought, are kids not supposed to know that soldiers smoked cigarettes 100 years ago? It did make sense to me, but there was that. So anyway, there's that. And so there you go. You can riddle out a picture, can't you? I'm not sure what you meant by that, brother. Scotty, have you ever considered doing a broadcast where we can watch you create? I've considered it, but I think it would be boring because when I draw pictures, I'm slow, I'm meticulous, I'm going through stuff, and it would just seem it would have to be a time-lapsed video, only because it's a pain in the ass at the beginning, because I'm drawing and I redraw and I redraw and I erase and I erase and I redraw. Maybe when I ink, the inking goes pretty easily. Like if I'm doing an ink like this one, I just I've already got it drawn, and then I just ink it in. It's like ink by number because the lines are already there, and I draw I just ink it and I make it look the way I want it to look. So yeah, maybe someday we'll do something. Yo, the smoke ain't no biggie. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's no biggie. But it's the way some of these publishers, my consultant on this, he thought that they should do that we shouldn't show a cigarette, or that the here, not like this. I'll just show you. I redid the face of the of Will Bird when they're putting down barbed wire at Vimy Ridge. Let's see where it is here. Well, here's the one with the ghost, where it looks really dark here. It's not that dark. It looks dark on this camera, but I brought his legs up a little bit, so it doesn't look like he's laying with his legs too widespread. And it's dark, but you can't see the detail on this camera. But then the one where they're laying the barbed wire, I made the guy in the middle look a little bit more like Will Bird. Did that digitally in Photoshop. And you see the guy on the left, no cigarette. That was for the final. So these look like they printed really dark, and they didn't. The colors are actually really good. Here, if I pull it back, you can see the colors are a lot more subtle than it looks up close, because I bring it up here and it's getting shadowed by the computer. There you go. So the colors are all still there. And same with this one. The ghosts have warm hands, where the ghost of his brother is pulling him to his feet. That is there. That's that one. So you can see the subtleties are still there in the mud wall on the background and so on. This printed very, very well. There's the sword and the hat. I used it there. And I also used that on the inside title page. So right there. So the sword and the clay. And so there it is. On the and of course, I talked about the illustration with the wheat field, where Will Bird is working in the wheat field, and he sees what he thought was his brother in full uniform. And so I did that painting, and I added the sky, a clean sky back there rather than watercolored. And then I added the birds. You were just, frankly, just little swish swish in Photoshop. And I added the sun shining there behind the image of his brother. And so that gives you an idea. But, and I think I actually changed his hand in Photoshop too. I didn't like the placement of his hand. It didn't look right. So what about the Photoshop process? Yeah, I could show that. That's real easy. I could just turn on, I could share my camera and I can show you the Photoshop process. Easy to do. Real easy to do. So, like the Star Trek tumblers that I created, I did new art for those. We're redoing those for Russ for his Federation store. And I touched up all the old artwork for those, because the originals, I didn't have the right type font. And so this is all digital stuff. Some people would look at that and they go, well, that's all. Is that really art? Because it's all digital. Well, I'd like to see somebody who doesn't know how to draw a picture do what I do in Photoshop. And I don't mean that to sound cocky, folks. I mean that genuinely as a, I think you got to know what you're doing. Any artist here that is a good illustrator would also be good in Photoshop. Once you learn the tools and you figure out how it works, there's that. So I redid all these Star Trek ones. And let's see. I didn't redo McCoy. Well, yeah, I did just a little bit. Not as much as I would have liked. But I redid the Kirk one from the original. I didn't like the art on that. So I redid him. And Captain Kirk revised. Here, I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to save this as PDF, just so you can see this. Here's Captain Kirk. For the Tumblr art, I'm going to save that. And this wraps around a Tumblr. I'm not sure if I did let's see if I've got him in here or not. Captain Kirk revised. Do I have him as the, nope, I don't show him as the, with the 3 tumblers in it. But here is, and this is the only one of these I'll do. This is Kirk, and again, this is a pencil drawing I did. Then I scanned the pencil drawing, imported it into Photoshop. All the ink lines you see in here, the black lines of this, are all done in Photoshop, and then I colorized it. So right here, if I upload this, I'll show you what this looks like. This is my new Captain Kirk tumbler. I just revised this. It's art. You may have seen the artwork because I put this up before. I did this piece of art of Kirk for the coffee bags, and then the project went away. They had somebody else do really simple stuff, and they used so they didn't use my artwork. They got away doing it a lot cheaper. But here you go. Here is the Captain Kirk tumbler art. Now that wraps around the 20-ounce tumbler. And so there's Kirk, and I drew him by pencil. And then I imported the pencil into Photoshop. And because I can't freehand a portrait like this in Photoshop, so I imported the pencil into Photoshop, and I used the just area tool, and I didn't use the ink pen. I used the area tool, and I created shapes. All the lines in here, all the black line work is shapes, created as shapes and filled with black. So cocky is good. Thank you. Thank you, Steph. By the way, once again, for your edification, Steph in her bikini. Or is that lingerie? So that was, and don't get worried, folks. I'm not just pulling that out of the bag on her. That's one that was sent to me to use specifically for a live show we were doing. So thank you, Steph, for saying that. Boost my ego a little bit there. So add to the stage. There it is. So we got the actual Star Trek type font. The Enterprise I did not create. The phaser I did not create. These are all images that I pulled in. This is from the Enterprise in here. The ship is from the Paramount style guide that we had to use for the coffee bags. So it's officially licensed artwork from Paramount. The phaser is just from a digital line drawing of a phaser, and I added the glow and all that and sunk it into the background, and et cetera, et cetera. And there's a big Enterprise behind here. You can see it might get a little busy, but you see the big hull, the big round circle there behind him. So, yeah, again, I've got others. I can move on to a new one. So let's see, what else have I got of Steph in here? I have to look. It's in our messaging. There's the Bigfoot. There's the one you've seen. There's the one with the red kerchief. That one's got a lot of butt. I don't think I showed that one. There's your crab tattoo on your hip. There's your fishnet stuff, which was very cool. Some of these I won't show. I do like the tattoo one though. Personal favorite. That one's not bad either. I'm not going to show it. But thank you, Steph. There you go. There, ode to Steph. So boom, 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 boom. Anyway, Captain Kirk, there he is. So that's digital art. Now, what makes that digital art? Pencil sketch, bring it into Photoshop, do the ink line in Photoshop, do the color in Photoshop, airbrush it in Photoshop. All the shades in the face and the shirt, all the different shades are in there. That's all done. This one in particular, right on the front of his chest, you see that little light green area coming down from his left shoulder into the middle of his chest. You can almost see that was a round circular airbrush. You can see I didn't blend that as well as I thought I should have now that I look back on it. But that's what's being printed on the tumblers for Russ. And so that was a lot of fun. And Steph, any more of those for education and edification, you can just send it to the same place. Some are a bit risque. Yes. And I did not show those even in that original show on Morning Coffee because they're safe and they're fine. You don't see any less in public or on TV or in the movies. But I thought some people might go, oh, I can't believe I see that much of her ass. So I don't think I ever showed those on that show. When you say some may be a little risque, yes, some may be. So anybody who wants to send in their swimsuit pictures of themselves, not somebody else, you go right ahead and you send them here. So I also had one. I don't know where it is. I'll see if I can find it. But let's see. Hold on. Let's hit open, and I'm going to see. I know I've got it in here. Let's see. Hold on. Don't go away. I'm just thinking, and at the same time, trying to find stuff. There is. It's not in there. Why isn't it in there? Oh, transferred files. There you go. So I got this, and then I got this. Let's see if it's in here. These are all way too naughty, but I've got this, not naughty. Let's put it that way. They're all too artistic. But I had this shot of Raini and me from, we weren't dating yet. We knew each other, but we weren't dating. And there was this shot after she did a massage for me. Because, she was a massage therapist. And I'm going to see if it's in here because it's a great shot. No, it's not in there. That's interesting. So I'll see if it's in another place. But this also hit the airwaves on Kenny's show. And let's see if I've got it in this folder. So I got a lot of pictures of Raini. It's Raini and me, Raini and the family, Raini naughty pictures that are not naughty. I'm not talking like gross pornographic BS. It's not that. There's a great shot of her from when before we were even dating, just a few months before we started actually dating. But that's akin to the picture of what Steph sent in here. And this was part of that show as well. And we'll see if it's in here. I'll see if you can see it or not. It's a great shot. And I posted this on my Instagram as well. And I said, I love this shot. It's a little risque for some people, but it's not it's not overly so. And I'm going to see if I find it. I think it's in this file folder, but if it is, I don't know where. I'm just scrolling. Boom, boom. I thought it was in here. Maybe not. So, pictures of Raini making faces. And this might not be interesting to anybody except me, but I'm pretty sure it's in here. I think it had the word yard in it because there's a picture out in her backyard after she had given me a massage. And the story behind that was I was at her house with a couple of other friends, and she was talking about what she did for a living. And I said, I'll have to have you do a massage for me sometime. And she said, I can do one for you right now. I said, well, I don't have any money on me right now. And she said, I'm not charging you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how comfortable I am accepting that from you at this point. And I said, I don't want to take advantage. She said, I'm offering it for free. So she gave me a massage. But I said, the story goes, I said, okay, I'll let you do it on one condition. I said that you do it topless. What does she do? She goes, thump, shirt comes off. She's topless, and I'm like, okay, you can give me a massage now. And I tell the kids, and that's how I met your mother. So, but so I don't know if I've got it in here. I was hoping it would be in here. Ellery's calling me. Yes, Ellery.
When are we gonna go to Mary Carter's?
When I'm done on the radio, I'll let you know.
You're not done yet?
Oh, wow. I've gone 45 minutes over. I'll be done soon. Bye. All right, guys. She's already told me I've now gone 45 minutes over with doing all of this tomfoolery. But I'm just going to see if this picture is here. And if it is, I'll let you see it. Because it's on my Instagram. We showed it on the radio. Now she's coming down the stairs. She obviously wanted to talk more. Nope, it's not here. So that's okay. I'll show you another time.
I thought you were over.
No, I'm not. I'm going to be over though now pretty soon. Now that I realized how late I am. You're a team naughty. Oh, Scott A is. You sure are team naughty, Scott Allen. You do naked yoga. Yeah, he does. So anyway, see, I think I'll try one last thing. Here's what we'll do. I'll share my screen with you as one last final thing before we go today. And let's see. Present. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to do the entire screen and boom. So you're going to get that effect right now until I go over. This is my my Instagram page where this picture lies. So this is Instagram. I will scroll through here. Oh, there's all the rest of the Star Trek ones that we're doing. By the way, there's Spock. And that's the new revised one. And Scotty. And Uhura. And then Kirk, of course, was the other one that you already saw. And let's see. I'm going to scroll through here. So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Just sitting here? Okay. Let's see. I'm looking. There's Raini. And what else we got? I'm looking for one in particular. By the way, this is an ink one from How to Be an Archaeologist. That's with the pipe again. And I've got the hat in there and all this. And this is the main character at the end of the book. That was ink drawing and Photoshop. Let's see. Still going through. Oh, here's a picture of Rainy. I did that for a Tumblr. That's ink drawing and Photoshop color. Nevermore from The Raven. And here's the that's the pencil drawing for the 10 Breaths of Ra. When I come across it, I'll show you the final color of that. I think you've seen it before. Probably up in here somewhere. Oops, going the wrong way. There's, of course, Marius Abruzzo and his brothers from The Sword and the Clay.
Dad, how long ago was World War I?
100 years ago or more. Let's see.
Walt Disney.
There's Rainy. It's Steph. They're slightly naughty for you, but there's Rainy in the morning sun making coffee. But that's not the one I'm looking for.
Walt Disney World was 16. He wanted to fight in World War I.
That's right. Somewhere in there. I don't have all those dates in my head. There's Rainy when we first started dating, but that's not the picture I'm looking for. Let's see. Looking. Oh, here's more. These were pen and ink. This was originally watercolor, and I brought it into Photoshop. and just did some effects on it. This was for those trading cards we did. Moses, this was pencil to pen and ink and watercolor in Photoshop. And Goliath, pen and ink and watercolor, and backgrounds all done in Photoshop. So, looking for Rainy, looking for this particular picture, because this was done. Oh, this is when we were doing our floors. Boom, boom. Let's see, Rainy, and there's Rainy and Lucifer, our pug mini English bulldog. Okay, I'm not doing this just to show slides. I want to share this with you. If I can find the original picture. It's a great picture. Let's see, scrolling. There's more of the sword and the clay illustrations. Rainy and Rainy. That's the one I'm thinking of, though. Now, remember, this story goes that Rainy and I, there's Rainy when I'm giving her a massage. Boom, we showed that one. That's up on my Instagram. So we're getting close, I think. That's a different day doing a massage. Best thing about being married to my wife is I get to massage her. So she did a massage for me. This is the story. This is almost 20 years ago now. And here it is. This is the picture I'm talking about, where she said I told her she could only give me a massage if she went topless. And I thought that would just end it right there. And she just, oh, okay. So this is post-massage. We're not dating. We hadn't done anything yet that way. We knew each other. We liked each other. We hung around. And it was about, maybe a month, not even a month after this picture, we were dating. So there's Rainy when I got my first massage from my wife. And we showed this on Kenny's show. It's safe. Everything's covered up. That's naughty. So, unless you look right between my pinky and my ring finger on my hand there is a bit of a nipple with a pierced dumbbell she had in it at the time that you see right between my fingers. So, anyway, that's the earliest picture I have of my wife before we were even dating. So there you go. I'll stop my screen. There you are. So anyway, I got some high-end bottles that are yelling at me to open them. What kind of bottle? Oh, vitamins. So I've been told I give great massages. I have no doubt. And she said, I bet, Scotty. Yeah. Or Scott Allen. Sorry. Same stuff. So, anyway, there's the end of our naughty bits for today. Yeah, you got Scotty, because I'm rummaging through pictures. Scott A does naked yoga. You have Scotty because you're rummaging through photos. Blah, blah, blah. There it is. And it's Cinco de Mayo as of today. So happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. And we got only 5 people left actually looking at from the chat room. Probably a lot more people. So there you go. That's all. That was a little review. And we've gone we've gone 3 hours with this show today without even knowing it. So, and some of it wasn't really even show. Some of it was just showing pictures and junk and talking. So I want to thank everybody for coming in. And I appreciate you being here. Tequila. I don't like tequila, but I can drink it. And I appreciate you all coming in. Come back tomorrow, Monday, for Intrepid Radio, where we actually do a real topic. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week, Tuesday, with Wendy and I doing Robertson. And so I don't do radio. I do radio again tomorrow, and I'm not off doing radio until Thursday. I have a day off. So there you go. So you all have a great day. I appreciate you being here and giving me your time, even though this was no time. We're not doing anything. We're drinking coffee and yapping. So I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you again tomorrow night for Intrepid Radio for a real show. So we'll talk to you soon. Everybody live long and prosper.